But you know, body.
Welcome back, everyone, to the GG's The Mouthful podcast.
GG! Sorry, I got too excited.
I see. This is
You're
I blew my load too soon.
yes, it's a
Now I need
common
a cigarette.
problem in middle-aged men. So. This is the real episode 67, guys, and welcome to GG's The Mouthful podcast once again, because I was interrupted.
You sounded like G-Man from Half-Life 2. Welcome to City 17. It's good to be here.
This is Arnaldo, a.k.a. Mad Dog, and that voice, as always, is Mr. Dream Twister himself, David Santos.
GG!
Yes, and of course, finally, back with us after a whole week being away.
I was about to say, I'm here every week.
We missed you.
I know.
We missed you.
Krista Montanez, a.k.a.
right.
Shadow
My
24/7.
heart goes out.
How is everybody this wonderful evening?
I'm in pain.
I'm sorry. Sir.
I'm in pain.
Is the beer not helping?
Huh?
Is the beer not helping?
Oh, yeah. No, definitely.
I mean, does he need something more than that?
No, I got painkillers and I got beer.
It's a bad mix.
That's probably the
Okay,
reason why.
the one thing he doesn't have yet is the illegal drugs.
Yeah, no,
True
exactly.
that. This is all over the counter stuff.
and of
You
course,
have,
yes.
you have
To be clear.
beer, regular narcotics, but you do not have the illegal stuff.
That's right.
Regular narcotics over the
You
counter.
need to
Over-the-counter stuff.
complete
Don't do
the
drugs,
holy
kids.
trinity.
Don't be stupid, kids.
But
If
what
this
the-
is your first time, sorry to interrupt. This is your first time listening to the podcast. First off, welcome. Go to GG's The Group. It's goodgame.tech. It is our Facebook group. Join the conversation there. Put your questions, your thoughts. Why are you laughing, sir?
you threw me out. It goes to GG's The Group. I'm like, holy shit, did he change the name of the group again?
No, it was. Didn't you have the name there?
It was, it used to be, for those who don't know, it used to be Gamer Group. Mm-hmm. And then I thought
Very
that
simple,
was a little generic.
But too many people had that.
Exactly.
I'm assuming.
Yes.
Exactly. So yes, go there, join the conversation. If you're listening to this on iTunes, YouTube, or Google Play, please subscribe, like the podcast, and if it's on iTunes, leave us a review.
And share it with people, you bastards.
Let's start the show with what we always start the show with, and that's what are we up to? Mr. David Santos, I'm going to go first.
Okay. All right.
Wasn't that
You
just
do
a
that,
kick in the
sir.
face?
I'm going to be emptying
I
here
just
my
wanted to-
medication.
Make sure you're aware. That's what I was going to do. I just
You
finished. Thank you. I just finished Pyre. Okay. The latest game. I mentioned this last week. I'm not going to go too into it. The latest game from Supergiant Games. This is probably one of my favorite games of this year so far.
Oh.
Absolutely awesome. I was completely committed to the events of the game.
Yeah.
Trying to keep it vague, but
Yeah.
So does that mean that Horizon's off the ladder?
no, Horizon's not off the ladder.
I think he's putting it there, in his list.
It's in definitely the
Top
top three.
five? Oh,
It's
okay.
definitely the
Top three
top so far.
Okay. So I gotta. Well, I wonder if I should ask. I probably shouldn't. Something happened along the lines because the last time you talked about it, it sounded like, yeah, I'm playing this. I'm playing this game, Inspire, and it seems fun, but it was not as enthusiastic as.
As this.
Yes.
So I'm guessing the story must have
Yes.
punched you in the face, kicked
The-
you when you're down.
Well, no.
Made him cry.
In other words, it was good.
I was definitely a little misty-eyed finishing the game. I was just like, it was weird because to give you the gist of it, the guys, the characters are stuck in their version of purgatory. They have to perform these rites that look very similar to a basketball / soccer / football game. But it's actually a ceremony. The winners proceed to the liberation rite, when you get to the liberation rite, whoever wins can anoint someone to leave purgatory forever. And what I didn't realize until halfway through the game was how committed I was to my crew getting out of purgatory.
Saving them,
You know what I
saving
mean?
them.
And I just, it was, I don't know, it just happened all of a sudden before I knew it. When I don't win a right, that's the other thing about the game. win or lose, the story continues. There is no game over, do or try again. And so that adds a level, that adds stakes to the story. You know what I mean? So I just got so taken in by it, you know. And then when
you kept sucking in games and people kept dying or whatever.
No. Well, they don't die. They just don't get out. But no, I had a great record. I told you about the first time that I lost I was 11-0. I'm like, this is going to be a piece of cake. I think that's why I was a little bit like, I guess it's not going to be that big a deal if I'm just beating everybody up, you know?
Yeah.
And then it was like this sharp curve. And then people started really getting good. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. And then it became really good. So I can't. The problem with this, I don't know if I can recommend this because it's a wacky game. You know what I mean? It's really obscure. You know,
it's interesting. I think we were talking about this at one of our conversations. I don't think we discussed on the podcast that Supergiant Game has a way of making games that are a little bit off the
beaten path. Yeah,
beaten path. Yeah, normally, yeah. Mm-hmm. I think their most similar to other games that they had was the first one was Bastion, mm-hmm. you know, but it still had that element that you didn't see on other games, which was the narration of everything you did, almost every little thing. So
and the narrator was great.
And the narrator was fantastic. Yeah. I love that aspect of it. And then you play Transistor, mm-hmm. and it's a strategy game almost.
The strategy RPG. It has some real-time elements, some turn-based.
Yeah, exactly. You can actually play it,
really
decide
different.
to just go
and
real.
That story kind of broke my heart a bit.
Yeah, that story was a
and
good
that's
one
another.
too.
And the music is almost amazing. All these games from Supergiant Games have excellent soundtracks.
Unbelievable music.
It's
Unbelievable.
amazing
Empire.
how indie games can be so good. But they can be like, there are people who don't like them.
This is a shame. They're going to miss out. They're going to miss out on this. Again, I find it hard to recommend the game, but I think everybody should at least try it. Just get past the fact that it's a little bit, when you're not doing the rights, it's kind of like what do you call those?
What?
What do they call those? Those dating? No, not the dating sims.
Oh, the visual novel.
Virtual novel. Thank you. It's kind of a virtual novel because that's what you're basically reading and acting out stuff in between.
It's a sport game in disguise. It's football.
It's a little bit.
Don't let him fool you.
It's a little bit like that too. I'm not gonna lie.
Might as well be mad at.
But the music is great.
No.
The music is great. I've told you this before. I wasn't sure about Pyre. I was like, I'm gonna wait for the reviews. You know, whatever. I love Supergiant. I am never, ever going to doubt Supergiant again, bro.
No,
never again. I am just Supergiant. Oh, it's a Supergiant game. Here's my money. There you go. Take it. I'm good. I don't care what it is.
That comes out, he just slaps in the
flying
table.
Unicorns. Done. I'm in. You know. Somehow
so they
they're gonna make it good.
So they basically have become. What's the maker? What's the other indie house that you buy pretty much every game that they release?
Devolver.
Oh,
Devolver Digital.
Yeah,
well, they become Devolver Digital.
Sort of. Devolver Digital has released some that are but their themes are pretty good. But anyway, great game. Got to check it out. Definitely on my early list for Game of the Year.
At least it's not like $60 though.
It's only $20, which I could have got for $16 if I did not wait for the review. Just put down.
They deserve every.
It's true. Yeah. They earned it. The other game I played a little bit of and have probably done about 2-3 hours into it, and that's Sundered, which is the game that I did pre-order.
And then Pyre happened, and it was like, okay,
yeah,
you sit back on the back burner, boy.
Sundered, chill out. You were cheap anyway. I got you. I got you on the cheap. No. So here's one thing I did not know about the game, and it frustrated me when I realized that's what it is. It's a bit roguelike.
Oh, I could have told you that.
Yeah, well, I didn't know.
I read that somewhere.
Everybody said everything was pointing to being this Metrovania type of game.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm in. I'm in. And then this is from the makers of Jotun, which I just recently played and enjoyed the hell out of.
Yeah.
I'm in. It's good. The procedurally generated parts are weird because the main layout of everything is very similar to Metroid, right? That you have these those square whatever areas on the map that you explore. Now the big portions of the square are locked in.
No.
Inside those squares, whatever may be inside the squares are what's procedurally generated. So while you're going to get to that area the same way you always get to that area, once you get to that area, the area looks different. That's essentially how the procedure, which to me, I'm like, that doesn't make sense. Because if this is a laboratory that I'm going to, why is this laboratory changing all the time? It doesn't make sense.
Another dimension.
So that's a little bit weird.
You've been going through portals this entire time.
Apparently, yeah. It is Metrovania-like because it does have ability locks and all that. It also has a tree, a skill tree, which is a little bit different from a Metrovania game. But it's really good. I just don't think, honestly, that it needs to have that roguelike element. It's like they almost forced it in there to have a roguelike element, but it just didn't need it. And my other problem is with it, and this is where the real issue comes in. When you die, which you will die a lot because that's what roguelites do, there is a serious load time to get back to the screen,
way.
okay?
Really?
Oh, wow.
I'm like, why is it so long? I don't understand. This is a freaking side-scroller. Another thing is on occasion, there is a little frame rate hiccup, which frustrates me a little bit. It doesn't kill the game, but it happens. It's like it pauses for a fraction of a second. It's like
micro stuttering.
Yeah, and it's just it happens and then it flows for a while and then happens again and the flow. I'm like, why is this happening? You know what I mean? So a little frustrated with that. Still going to play, enjoying the heck out of it. But that's all I've been doing.
No, I heard you watch a movie recently also.
We don't need to talk about that shit. I saw this movie called The Circle.
Oh, you watched The Circle.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
It was recommended to me by this desperate man.
Recommended? It's a stretch.
I wouldn't have watched it
why.
if it wasn't for said recommendation.
Yeah.
I mean, he kept saying it was garbage. And he's
I
like,
told you it
by
was
the
terrible.
way, you need to watch it.
I wanted to know if it was me. Because remember how you like the
best movie
Her?
ever, Her?
Yeah. You like Her, the movie Her. That's all. I was like, okay, so I got a movie for you. Let me see if I can break you.
Well, sir, you broke me because it wasn't bad. I told you this before. It's not a bad movie. It's just way average, and some plot elements still make sense. Just the motivations for certain characters, like, okay, you're against this. You're just really against this. But you know how I'm going to take you down? By doing it again. And it's like, what? This doesn't make any sense, you know? So, I don't know. I do not recommend that. Don't do what David did to me.
I didn't do it. I was running an experiment.
I know.
Which
a social experiment.
A social experiment, exactly.
So, I fell for it. And I lost 2 hours of my life that I'll never get back. And Joanne, by the way, is pissed off at you.
Oh, really? She saw it also?
Yes, she was with me there. Yeah.
She didn't have to watch it.
Yeah, well, we made it a movie night. Say, honey, hey, The Circle.
Yeah, hey.
Emma Watson and Tom Hanks.
Well, you know what?
It
You
could be
guys were
worse.
probably curious about it at some point. Now you got it out of the way. Well,
Not
maybe
this one here.
maybe she was.
Not this one here. She was curious because she didn't know about the Metacritic score and your particular whatever. But even she walked away going, what the hell was this all about? So,
well, it could have been worse. You could have watched Keeping Up with the Joneses, which it was a terrible movie. It's ridiculous. I'm not even going to tell you what it's about because it's not worth it. It's a comedy. It's supposed to be, but nothing is funny.
This is all I've been doing, so take it away, sir.
All right, so
Keeping Up with the Joneses. Oh, no, go ahead.
Yeah, no, Keeping Up with the Joneses, avoid it, piece of crap. But I have been playing a couple games. Mainly, I started playing Pyre as well.
Okay.
But I'm not ready for that game yet. I feel like that game is something that I will play to fill out like empty time. Mm-hmm. So, for me. So I'm going to hold on to it. I'll probably pick it up at the end of the year. But now I'm revisiting Yakuza 0.
Yakuza 0. Okay.
So I decided to start over because I left it. That game came out like a week or a couple of weeks before Horizon Zero Dawn. Mm-hmm. And obviously,
it got flushed away.
It got put in the back burner. But, so anyway, I went back to it. Still loving the crap out of it. Yakuza, even though what frustrates me about those games is that they reuse so many elements and so many assets from game to game that like you already know what to expect. I mean, you will have the map of their town, their city. You know, the city they call Kamurocho. And doesn't even sound like a Japanese game.
I was going to say,
Japanese
like,
title,
is that in
you know.
Spanish?
I don't know. Yeah, Kamurocho. Yeah, I mean, but anyway, it's always the same area from Yakuza 3. I played Yakuza 3. I played Yakuza 4. I went to this one, which takes you back. It's sort of like a prequel of everything that happened. Well, it's Yakuza 0. So this is on the night 1989. The setting is cool and the story. That is a game about the story. It is mafia drama times 10. So I'm really digging that shit up. You know, the gameplay feels very, it's very similar to Yakuza. You already know if you want it, if you like that game, or if it's not for you. You told me it's not for you, and I was like, I can see. Yeah, I can.
I played the
see
first
it, yeah.
one. I think I played a lot of the second one, and I was like, yeah, I can't do this.
I
Third
like-
one came out. I just didn't care.
It's because I like this. I like the setting a lot, and also the mini games that you get to do. They're so wacky, so out there, and their side quests are interesting, are like out there, you know, in a cool way. It's stuff that you definitely want to go and look for them rather than I gotta fill out this quest log thing, even though it keeps track of all the quests that
The quest logs? Okay.
Yeah, you're supposed to.
It's different. They
complete.
do that in the other ones, right?
In a way, I think, but this one gives you completion points.
Okay.
So it's almost like it wants you to see everything that. But the quests are interesting. They're not fetch quests or anything like that. They're actually like little stories, you know.
Is there any host bars?
I believe so. I mean, there's going to be a part where you
sure.
manage all that. I haven't looked into it because I don't want to be spoiled too much. But like yesterday, I had a side quest where this couple, this high school couple were arguing, and it was the guy thought that his girlfriend was prostituting herself, and it turns out she wasn't prostituting herself. She is she is a burucera.
Oh,
Which she was basically selling her underwear.
used?
Yes.
Well,
To each their own, sir.
that's Japan for you.
Yeah.
Wow. So, it's
mean, it's
wacky
true.
stories like that. I had another one where I was helping an artist called Miracle Johnson. Which he is supposed to be like a straight up copy. I mean, he could not be more copy of Michael Jackson.
Oh, Miracle Johnson. Oh, I get it now.
Yes, Miracle. Everything on everything he will say, it will be a pun about his song. He'll be like, "Oh, because that's just the way you make me feel." And he will talk with that, like that also. And who's bad? Stuff like that. And he'll be doing the moonwalk, and whenever he talk to you, he'll do that. It was wacky as crazy. And of course, I was going to be on their music video, his music video for, I forgot the way that they call their non-thriller.
Oh, okay.
But it has zombies that are supposed to defeat because he wants the zombies to be attacking him for real because he wants, because his director, he wants the realism, his director, Steven Spinning. Not Steven Spielberg.
Yeah, Spinning.
Steven Spinning. So
Trying to defy them copyrights.
dude, I tell you,
Avoid them like landmines.
but some of the thing he was like, oh my god, how could they get away with it? Because he was not, it's very on the nose. It's very hilarious. I love that shit.
Maybe that's why they're like, it's
Yeah.
so ridiculous, we have to keep it.
Yes.
It's
We
satire.
can't sue them.
When
It
it's-
is, yeah, it is
when it gets across that line of satire, they're like, yeah, we can't. there's nothing you can-
fantastic. And then his he'll be like, the Michael Jackson wannabe will be like, yeah, samurai, and Kiryu, the protagonist, he'll be like, can we just get this done over with?
Let's get this shoot over with, will you?
Yes, it was pretty awesome. So anyway, and along those side crazy things, it does have a very intricate, very good story that keeps you that is, I would say, to the level of a decent Netflix mafia thing, mafia series, HBO series, A Sopranos. No, I don't know. I haven't seen The Sopranos. I haven't seen The Sopranos. No, but in the sense that it's like dramatic like that, it's very, very well written, and the localization is flawless. Aside, as opposed to Persona 5, which was garbage. The localization on the Yakuza games, for the most part, is pretty much on point. It's exactly. I mean, they have. I can't say good, good enough things about it. So I'm playing that. I'm also playing. I also went back to an MMO. Yes.
Is it World of Warcraft?
No.
Final Fantasy?
No. Star Wars Knight of the Old Republic.
KOTOR?
Yes. Star Wars Knight of the Old Republic, SWTOR, I think.
Yeah, that's still going strong.
That is still, and it's free. It's free to play on PC. Mind you, I am playing it free to play. The good thing about it is that it's very solo friendly. Mm-hmm. So if you want to play a story and get a story, if you get a story for your character, whichever one you select, is voice acted. As you guys will remember, everything is voice acted. So it is kind of like a poor man's KOTOR, and they have done a lot to it. I mean, the interface is still kind of like janky a little bit, and the graphics are MMO graphics, which is to say, unless you're Final Fantasy 14, most of your graphics are going to be outdated,
a little blocky-ish.
Yeah,
or Arcade. Arcade is pretty high quality.
That's true. So the reason I picked this up is because I am reading the Path of Destruction, Dark Bane, the story of Dark Bane, and he's supposed to be a Dark Lord of the Sith that united pretty much the Sith when the idea was to have an academy where you would train Dark Lords all around.
Multiple Sith, yeah.
His idea was like, no, we need one unifying power, we just one force, one Darth, basically, and an apprentice, And that's, you say in the latest, all the way to the most recent Star Wars movies, that's kind of what you always see, a powerful being and an apprentice. And the apprentice gets to the point where he takes over by killing his master or whatever. So that, because for some reason that got me back to playing and possibly paying if I get on it.
Whoa.
Like, I'm finding it interesting, but I don't know. I'll have to see, because now Chakrad and and Gilberto and some guys in the group have finally discovered Diablo 3. Actually, Panda. Panda as well. So now they're playing that on PC, and I kind of want to join them too. so yeah, that's pretty much all I've been doing.
Awesome. Miss Shadow, what you been up to?
I'm gonna start with, I know that I mentioned a bit that I was playing Lawbreakers during the beta, so I played a bit of it over the weekend.
How'd the beta go?
And you're fed up with it?
No, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I was really aggravated because I know a lot of people like to compare it with Overwatch, which is no.
It's like, hey, it has guns. It must be like Overwatch.
Because you get to choose a class, different classes. But the thing is, though, because it's a 5v5, so you can actually have multiple of one class on one team if you wanted to.
Oh, okay. So
if you wanted two medics, you can get.
If you want two mercies, go for it.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I think the only reason why they compared it with Overwatch, because you have your abilities and then your ult, but your ult is every 80 seconds.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Not really like Overwatch.
No, not really. No.
But it reminded me more of
it happens more frequently.
Call of Duty, Titanfall, like the more futurist, how you can jump around, run on walls, because it's in low gravity, which is awesome too.
You broke my heart. You just said Titanfall, and it hurts every time I hear the name.
I know.
That game is so great. This is served better. Titanfall 2, I mean.
It does.
Titanfall 1 was garbage. No, it was not garbage.
I have two favorite characters. The medic and Wrath, which is some like fast pacing shooter guy with like a SMG and a knife.
Okay.
Because with him, I can slide around.
Oh, so he's kind of like a. I hate to compare here, but
I know,
Tracer like.
No. There is someone who's Tracer like called the Gunslinger.
Oh,
So he can
how convenient.
teleport wherever he wants to.
Oh, nice.
Now this guy's a bit like Genji. I know I hate to compare it to, but he is because
We can't help it, can we?
Yeah.
he can jump around and all that. But I love because you can also do combos. So I love sliding into somebody, which gives them damage, and then stabbing them in the face.
Oh, don't we all?
Yeah, that's what I live for.
And there's different modes where control, where you capture 3 points, and once you capture them, they lock down. People can't fight her. Once it's locked down, and they have to wait till the next round.
Oh, okay.
Then there's battery, which you have to go grab a battery from its spawn point, take it to its
That's the
charge
mode that I
point,
played. Yeah,
Take
it was
it to its
confusing
tro-
as hell.
take it to its charge point, and then fight trying to get it to charge up. And then there's the link, the uplink, which is the same thing as battery.
Okay.
And that's where I use Raph the most because he's fast. So I get up there, go get it, come back, put it to our side, and it's done.
So were you playing this PS4 or PC?
PS4.
PS4. Mm-hmm. How do you play PC shooters?
Not much. I
Was gonna,
want to, but I haven't been on my desktop.
but can you
much.
play? Oh,
I should be able to.
I was gonna invite you to the Quake Champions beta.
We'll
Kind
see
of
how it
interested
works.
on knowing your opinion on it.
No, we'll see how it works. Besides that, I was playing whatever friends want. So
Oh, just jumping in and out of matches and
and
stuff.
Game of Thrones.
Yes.
I finished that.
You finished the whole season?
Yeah, I finished the whole season in like
Nice.
a few days.
Oh,
What do you
I'll
mean?
leave
You
the season
caught
one.
up? You caught up?
No, the game.
The game.
The game.
Oh,
Yeah,
the
the Telltale game.
The Telltale game. Oh, okay, all right.
No, that would take me forever if it was a show.
I was gonna say that's why I'm impressed.
She has not slept in 5 days.
Do not understand my capabilities.
Do
So
not underestimate.
I do
the power of
like
the
it,
shadow.
but the one that I don't like, there are a few things I don't like, is that they try and make it so artsy, and I get it, but you can see like the little like
the look
sponge
of it.
brooch.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't
like that either.
The what? The one?
The
It has
the
like little
backgrounds.
spun brushes. Alexa, shut up.
Alexa, don't start this again.
All right. So
So like it has like a little faded like artistic kind of background, but even on the characters, their clothes and all that.
are you kidding me? Is it playing music?
Go ahead.
Alexa, shut the fuck up. There you go. You just gotta be rough with her sometimes, you know. You have to.
It's funny because I didn't even say
No,
anything.
anyway.
So-
So,
The background is like all artistic, light brushes, sponge brushes.
oh, okay.
on
So
it.
he has that.
But no, not just that. Even the people, like you have like
Oh.
your usual 3D, nice, smooth on their faces, but
Uh-huh.
some of their clothes and just equipment's just all like brushed. Like
Oh, so
It's
they're
made-
stylized.
It's made to look like a living painting type of
Yeah,
thing.
yes.
but it
And
doesn't
it does
work
not
well.
work.
It doesn't
yet.
work.
No,
Oh,
I
so
don't
they
like the
stylized
look.
it. Oh, because I dig when games do that. Like I remember Okami.
Yes,
That
and
was-
I
Yeah,
agree.
but that
Yeah.
worked very well. This is not so good.
Yeah, Okami did that, but still remain cell shaded.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And the
Yeah.
reason why Okama was based, like the game itself was more artistic. Like that's like the whole
Correct.
story
This
on
looks
it.
like Game of Thrones, the show. So it's like, why are you doing this to this?
Oh, I'm trying to remember. There was another game that was like that. That was a perfect example of you can make this, pastels, colors, slash painting, cell shading.
Child of
thing.
Light,
Looks
too.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that
Child
too.
of Light. No, but it was
Sunlight was more of that pastel watercolor.
It was a Sega game that it was kind of like an XCOM type, a game. But it was the story was very mystical and fantastical. But it had, I'll find out what it is. Yeah.
It was good. I mean, there was a few like little like, I guess character movement glitches. Like it will like be sharp and weird, or it will take like a minute for them to respond to do something. But that's nothing. Another thing that aggravated me is that when I chose a selection, they said it in a way that I didn't like.
Yeah,
like,
I've always hated
they're
that.
more, I guess, douchebaggy in a way.
That's not what I meant. I meant it like this. I meant it to be nice. It sounded nice.
I know, because the choice sounds nice, and then they say it in a way that's like, why?
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
Yeah, I don't like that either.
So, I mean, it was good, but those kind of threw me off a bit, but I finished it.
Awesome.
Valkyria Chronicles. That's the game that I was thinking. Valkyria Chronicles looks beautiful.
That does look good, though. I've seen that one, and that really looks pretty. Again, cell shaded. It has a beautiful cell shaded look. But here, like I said, it just like you will stare at the background, and it'll just kind of flicker like that, and it's like moving oil.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is this? Who chose this game?
But the fact that they put it on the people too, on their clothing.
Yeah, it didn't make
Sometimes their
sense.
equipment's
Their face didn't, but the rest of it did.
Oh,
I'm like, come on,
That's
doesn't
weird.
make sense.
It's weird.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's all I've done.
All right, guys, we're going to go right into some news, and I've got a couple pieces here. One of them specifically, I want to update a previous hot topic of the week. It's the gaming addiction update. On August 2nd, this is from Polygon, by the way, guys. On August 2nd, World Health Organization Advisory Board member Jeffrey M. Reed declined to respond to Polygon. Instead, he referred Polygon over to Dr. Vladimir Poznayak, coordinator of the management of substance. Huh?
Oh, go ahead.
Coordinator of the Management of Substance Abuse Department and Mental Health over at the WHO. His response was this, and I quote, there was no pressure from a WHO, which is the WHO member, states to include gaming disorder in the ICD, and the decision was made based entirely on the available scientific and evidence and experiences with such health conditions in different countries, not limited to Asian countries. And then he goes on to say, hold on, I lost the quoting here. At the same time, indeed, health conditions associated with excessive video gaming had been well documented and researched in a number of Asian countries, such as the Republic of Korea and Japan. And in line with their professional experiences, many clinicians and researchers from those countries have strong views with regard of the existence of, quote, gaming disorder, which was presented... sorry, I'm losing my place here. Which was presented in a personal communication between who consulted Jeffrey Reed and Chris Ferguson as enormous pressure. So what they're stating there is that no one received enormous pressure to include this onto the ICD. That's what he's stating. That's his comment.
Okay.
At the same time, let me reiterate that there was not any formal requests or pressure expressed by any WHO state members to include this disorder in the classification, and the decision was based entirely on technical considerations and not political ones. So take that with a grain of salt. I mean, I don't know. Could be very...
in other words, they're not saying, and they're basically saying nobody has has been pressuring us to say, yeah, this is a disorder that should be, in the medical journals.
Correct.
Or,
stuff
in
like
other
that.
words, they're just like, we have no evidence.
They're saying that they do have some clinicians who I guess are adamant that yes, this is a disorder and has to be looked into and blah 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 blah.
Yeah, because the cases exist.
Yeah,
they're just not great enough to.
In Asia, I can completely agree that because they have a very big gaming issue over there.
Gaming culture.
Gaming culture, let's call it.
Okay, when you don't leave your house 24/7, that is a big issue.
True, but I don't know if everybody just.
I don't think that's limited to Jace. Yeah, I don't think that's limited to Asia. Yeah, I know a lot of players.
They're known for
player unknowns battleground players.
Yeah, but
don't leave.
They're known for playing nonstop to the point that they don't even use the bathroom.
True, but
So
Some cases.
in some cases, exactly.
Not all Asians.
It's not running rampant.
GG's not endorsing the idea that
entire-
Asian countries
The entire nation is not
are
shutting down.
just a bunch of gamers.
Although a lot of them are. We'll leave it at
Although
that. A
they
lot
have
of
better, they have better infrastructure for it.
So that was an update. I just wanted to include that because literally just happened. The update came in on August 2nd. Figured we had the topic. Let's give an update on it. So next piece of news that I have, you are going to be able to pre-order the Super Nintendo Classic Edition starting later this month.
Whatever.
Nintendo had announced, and they specifically stated that a significant amount of additional systems will be shipped to stores for launch day and throughout the balance of the calendar year.
So Target, instead of getting 2, is going to get 3.
Okay, but why are we even like? No, we're just like, yeah, we've heard it all before.
Pretty much.
This is Nintendo doesn't know how to distribute. Period.
True. The reason I bring this up is there's a theory. I don't know if you heard that Walmart caused kind of a little bit of a stir back in late July when they flipped the pre-order switch on late on a Friday night. Just turn it on and say, sure, go ahead, start pre-ordering. And allowing customers a chance to buy them or to put money down on them. Company later, unfortunately, had to say, "Oop, that was an accident," and canceled everyone's pre-order, hands down.
Fantastic.
The theory here, and this is a theory. Follow me on this. Stick to me with this.
All right,
or stick with me.
I'm following.
Okay. The theory is that Walmart's going, let's show them exactly what this demand looks like.
Yeah.
Let's flip the switch, and at Walmart let's be real, Walmart is not a company where they're concerned about their appearance.
Yeah. Wow.
I mean, I've dealt with, and I say this as a consumer for Walmart. I've bought online from them. I've dealt with the Walmarts here. It's not good. Okay. That said, the theory is that they did this so they can test so Walmart can prove, hey, we're going to need more. And here they are shortly thereafter making the statement.
Okay. Okay, we'll sell more. I guess. Yeah, I would imagine Nintendo very like angry, like, oh, fine, I'll sell you this. Give me your money, whatever.
Yeah, fine.
Not like we need it.
Exactly.
We got a Switch.
We're
you heard of the Switch probably, right? Yeah, you don't have one because you can't have one
because
you're a plebe.
So yeah, so look forward to that at the end of this month. That's August. And,
or not. Don't get your hopes up. I mean, kids, let's realize this is.
I'm not gonna lie. I have Amazon ready on the notifications to just let me know.
You know what? I already missed on the NES Classic. Having this will feel like an incomplete collection.
Is, Super NES was more my console over NES. Don't get me wrong, NES was great and all that, but of the two, I would choose that one because I think that that particular era of games was probably my favorite.
You know what we good for them market wise, because these little minis are holiday.
Mm-hmm.
So, but then they get discontinued, which that's stupid because they should be just doing it every holiday. Oh, we're bringing this back again.
Pretty much.
For a holiday item.
I'm pretty sure once they run through their lineup of consoles that they're going to make mini, hey, we're going to bring the NES back now.
The thing
and we're going to be dealing with this for the next 3 decades.
One could hope, but knowing Nintendo, it might be very slim.
If the Switch starts to tank, damn it, we need money again.
They can't
turn on the mini NESs,
they
guys.
Can't even do amiibos right, so...
That's true. Gosh.
We love you, Nintendo.
Wait, I do love Nintendo.
I am getting a Switch.
You quirky
I already
guys.
pre-ordered a game for it, so I guess I'll have to buy the thing. Fuck.
Yeah.
I don't know.
$450.
Their 2DS came out.
Yeah, the most recent 2DS, which I don't know.
I owned a DS, remember? A 3DS?
3DS, yeah.
Yeah, I had it for a little bit.
I don't know if that was wise of them. I mean, the Switch, that's a handheld console. Why are you still focusing on the 2DS,
the people
guys?
Who can't afford the Switch.
I know, I get it, but you want to kind of move people over here.
And also, the Switch is still considered "quote unquote" a home console. That's why. So they're still doing the handheld for a bit.
Yeah, but I think they need to snip.
Yeah,
cut the apron strings.
I think it had. Yeah, it has.
And also, it's widely used in Japan because mobile games.
Well, the 2DS, yeah, hell, even the Vita's good out there.
Well, consider. Remember when the Xbox One came out and Microsoft released the Xbox 360e, which looked like an Xbox, like a smaller Xbox One, but it was like, hey, they kept selling it. So maybe this is Nintendo being like, okay, yeah, we still have the parts.
And also, don't forget, kids. Hello.
Kids can play with a Switch.
I know, but most people don't be like, don't touch that.
Let's talk about babies.
Oh,
Baby
well, there you
can play
go.
a DS.
A baby
Yeah.
can play a DS.
Of course.
Yes, I agree.
Nobody wants to because the screen right there. No, I'm not having a kid touch that. I'm sorry.
So my next, Pete, my last piece that I have here, very recent. Well, actually, this is going to be a two-parter. Unfortunately, HBO has reported that they have been robbed again. And this was actually earlier this week. You'll see why the two-parter comes in here. Earlier this week, some unreleased digital content, more than 1.5 terabytes of data, has been
Jesus
stolen by
Christ,
hackers.
Tell them what it is.
The theft includes full episodes of Ballers and the new series Room 104, which are already online at that point. At the time of this announcement, the breach also appears to include a partial script from this upcoming week's episode of Game of Thrones, and they also state that those responsible state that more content is on its way.
Well, if you have 1 point, whatever terabytes,
that's a lot of content.
Man, what is going on at HBO? They need to unplug those computers from the internet. That's what they need to do.
It's called
Funny you should say that.
And hackers are getting smart.
Very recently, the episode of this upcoming Game of Thrones, episode 4, I believe this was also made available online, and
Oh, great.
it wasn't even the same hackers.
Oh, great. Fantastic. Good job.
So, first off, I haven't watched it as much as I'm dying to see what happens next. I refuse to. I got HBO. Let me give you guys some money. Obviously, you need to tighten
you don't
want
to watch it in an inferior, method. I mean, people say, it got taken from HBO directly, so it must be a pristine copy. But no, usually those copies are the ones that they hand to screeners first.
Yeah, with
they're all watermarked.
Yeah, whatever
To
comes
hell?
from HBO is the finished copy.
Yeah, exactly. What they give you with the whole sound and everything. So yeah, I'll watch it when it comes out this Sunday. Yes.
At least you're one of the good ones who are patient.
Well, I think they
So to
need the
speak.
extra money so they can fix their damn security. So,
But this is gonna be this is a big blow for them
it is. It is
No.
because that's their.
financially and reputationally.
I agree. Reputationally.
Reputationally,
Nice.
Yes.
Oh my god.
That's a word.
All right, Miss Shadow, hit us up with your pieces.
I got something that I didn't expect. So, Final Fantasy 15's multiplayer beta has started a couple days ago.
Multiplayer for
The
Final
beta?
Fantasy
Okay.
15.
That's a weird thing.
It
Is it
is.
going to be MMO-ish or what will they do?
It's called the Comrades beta. So whoever got the season pass can play it, and while everyone else has to wait till it comes out. So this allows players to create a character and team up with 3 other players online.
Have you seen the character creation?
Is it bad?
No, it's
No, it's
ridiculous.
not.
It's,
It's good?
like
Okay.
super detailed. It's like, who the hell?
No, they give you a lot to do. You can change
Oh
your
my
hair,
God.
change your skin, everything.
That's
like
a game?
any MMO-ish.
That's a game
Character
within
creation.
itself to me.
Yeah.
I can spend 3 hours
Yeah.
making my character and then forget why I was making them.
Yes. It's like Dark Souls. They had that character creator.
Which was the worst. What was the point?
and then
Right.
exactly, and then you're always a zombie. So like, what the hell was the point?
I don't know.
So I haven't played it yet, but it kind of sounds a bit MMO-ish.
Okay.
Players don't level up yet since it's beta. Only some locations or weapons are available, and some quests are available until full release. So I haven't played it yet. I don't know if it's like that, but we'll see.
All right. Okay, we'll see what's up. What else you got?
I don't know, since he was talking about the Switch,
Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
I got some Switch stuff.
Oh,
So, they decided to bring up an update to fix their battery issue that people have been getting. It was like a bug.
a bug in the
People were
battery?
getting that on the display screen. It kept showing that that the battery's empty, even though it wasn't.
Oh, okay.
So,
So they updated what as a patch?
and it's supposed to be a patch to hopefully fix this battery issue.
Hopefully. I
Mostly.
think I heard or may have saw something that's
If
somewhere
not,
after the patch
they're
that it was
giving-
still having some
If
small
not,
problems. Yeah.
Nintendo was saying that there was a few steps that you had to take, including charging it multiple times, which, one, do not do that. That will actually mess
That
up the
kills your battery, yeah. Way to
And
go, Nintendo.
My last piece, which, oh boy, everyone's going to love. So, next week on Tuesday, Summer Games is back in Overwatch.
Overwatch
The Summer Games.
Yep.
Are they going to have new stuff, or are they just
Yes.
redoing? Okay, it's new stuff.
This year you will have Lucio Ball again, but
That was actually a lot of fun. I played Lucio Ball.
you'll also get a new map for it in Sydney. So it's going to be Sydney and then the Rio.
Oh, okay.
And another thing is that
They're moving the Summer Games.
another thing is that it's going to have competitive Lucio Ball.
Wait, wasn't it competitive before?
No. This
What was
time
it
it's
before?
competitive. It just regular
No,
Lucio
it was not
Ball.
ranked. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see what you're saying. I'm sorry.
Unranked, yes. So,
Looking forward to it?
yep. I am very looking forward
I want to
that.
play Lucio Ball. I missed
You
out
never got a
last
chance?
time.
It was,
No,
it was
never.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get to...
Why don't they make it permanent? No, anyway.
No, because then
Events.
it loses something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, this time you can get
It's like
competitive
Nintendo.
points for it.
Why don't they have it all the
and-
time?
Exactly.
But that's the thing. If they have it all the time, it loses its value, then
Exactly.
people stop playing.
You're right. I
Mind
agree.
you, their events and their competitive is the reason why you have so many people
Coming
in.
back, yeah.
And at Lucio Ball, you get competitive points, which you can get some sprays and stuff with. So it's
That's
nice.
raised, yeah. That's awesome.
Cannot wait for that.
That's next Tuesday.
Yep, next Tuesday, very, very soon.
Gilberto, you heard it here. I
We-
expect to see some KaoxReaper
Some action.
tearing up some ass somewhere,
Yes.
wearing a wrestler outfit.
Now we gotta make that happen. We gotta buy him an outfit.
I don't know how it would. Let's just buy you a bunch of loot boxes. Hopefully, we get you.
Oh, that also means that last year's Summer Games, that means everything that you didn't get, their priced is half off.
Oh, okay. Oh, from last year. Oh, okay, that's awesome. That's
It's
good. That
nice.
brings back the those assets that you may have missed.
Yeah, well, if you want to play that game, if you want to pay real money just to bet on,
Hey,
With the new loot system,
it's improved a bit.
yeah.
Okay, Mr. Dreamy Twister, what do you have for us, sir?
all right. Well, I have a plethora of news of like a
plethora.
threefer.
Oh, okay. A
I was
trifecta.
gonna say,
A
he's gonna
trifecta, exactly.
bombard us with everything.
I'm gonna go real quick
Truckload.
because I gotta go pee soon because this beer is acting up. So, you PlayStation people. No, I'm kidding. So PlayStation owners have enjoyed Spotify for the longest time, and their implementation of it is awesome.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
got to give them credit. It's awesome to be able to play your music while you're playing your games. So
I used it so many times.
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
good
yeah.
stuff.
So some people noticed that Larry Herbst from you might know him as Mayor Nelson from Xbox.
Xbox.
Had appeared to have been testing an app for Xbox One for Spotify. And the thinking is that, they're actually, they haven't officialized anything.
Oh, it's not official. Okay.
No, it's not official. Microsoft or Spotify have not confirmed, but come on.
Yeah,
it's-
yeah.
exactly.
See,
yeah.
if they're gonna put Spotify on Xbox, that means they're gonna also have to bring Pandora to PS4.
Pandora.
I don't want Pandora. They can
I
keep
know.
Hey,
Pandora.
Pandora's really good.
There are people
not
who
better than
want.
Spotify.
I thought that they did like Pandora for Xbox because they got the partnership, and then Spotify with PS4 because they
Yeah.
got the partnership.
Yeah. Well, it's good that they're getting. I mean, honestly, and then I can tell you right now, Pandora will not be renewed on Xbox. Because, I mean, all due respect to Pandora, but Spotify is freaking awesome.
Some people-
Pandora is good also. Pandora is different
What did I
than
just say?
Spotify. All right?
Some
Pandora
people-
is the shit.
But some people.
I use it to
prefer-
discover
Yeah,
music.
It is shit. You're
Some
absolutely
people
right.
prefer Pandora over Spotify. Some people prefer Spotify over Pandora.
Definitely, definitely.
And everyone,
For the record, though, the Pandora people are wrong. So
or everyone prefers iTunes over both of them. So
this is true. iTunes is also.
Sirius XM. None of these companies are paying us. So what the hell
know.
are we doing? So anyway, there might be news on that might be coming soon, but you can pretty much expect it because come
Yeah,
on,
obviously.
it's happening. So Bungie has laid down some outlines for Destiny 2 2 on PC. I hate that IGN calls it streaming restrictions. They're not streaming restrictions.
Were they the
Frigging
only
IGN.
one?
Huh?
I think they weren't the only ones that called it that.
Yeah. It's pretty much it's the way that applications on PCs overlay information over games. For example, you might be using TeamSpeak or the new one that the kids use these days. I forgot what it's called. Discord. Yes.
Discord.
Yes, Discord. Not Distort.
Distorted.
Distorted.
It all comes distorted.
Well, I think
So they
kind of
use
simple.
so they use the overlays over your game, so they can show you whatever information, or fraps, which is used for counting frame rates and coffees. Yes, it's a frame rate counter for benchmarking games and all that.
Okay.
So most of those systems are out. OBS, actually, very famous
That's the one
free
that
tool
was, yeah.
Really?
used for streaming. Yeah, used for
They're
streaming
not
PCs.
gonna let that happen?
Yeah. Or XSplit. XSplit, which is a paid program. So basically, they're not saying they're not streaming restrictions. Bungie's not saying you're not allowed to stream. They're saying, okay, because we want to protect the integrity of the game. Because basically, the problem with those programs is that they tend to inject code
into the game. Yeah.
And even though the way those particular programs do it is harmless, in order to do that, Bungie will have to allow the APIs to be open enough to where pretty much anybody can start doing weird shit. So they're basically protecting, and a lot of people are outraged about it. I think it's a good idea.
I heard somewhere, it was either another podcast listener or maybe it was an article, but that really is not. There are ways around it. It can be implemented. Is even the OBS that it can be. It's just there's workarounds. You'll have to do it via a window or something like that instead of full screen.
You have to do. They want you to use capture cards. For
Elgato,
for it.
yeah,
Exactly,
like
something that is not software that has to that has to mix with the code.
With the code.
Yeah, with the code of the game.
Is this only for people who stream with console or
No, this is
This
PC.
is PC. This is all PC. Yeah. On consoles, remember, it's a closed platform. They can do whatever they
for
want.
people who use capture cards with their PC, with their console and PCs.
Yeah, that's not going to affect it. Because if you're using a capture card, all you're doing is basically capturing whatever's on the screen. You're not really going into the game and recording from software. So
unless people have their layouts in the software.
Right, exactly.
Which
But you can all do that.
Streamers do.
Yes. But you can have that, and then have that layer, right? The layer where you have all the chassis that streamers put on their channels, which I hate because I'm a purist. I just want to see the game. I don't want to see hey, somebody donated $1. All that crap that streamers think.
If they're promoted, they kind of
They're gonna have to.
Yeah.
Is that really a rule?
No, it's not a rule, but
a lot of
it's,
people do. It's just to show
it's
that
part of
you're
their
doing
show.
something.
Yeah. Well, just show something in the bottom says thank you.
You're talking about the little
like for example, when we
bits,
subscription
the,
thing,
the,
yeah.
the bits.
well, yeah, well,
Right,
I would.
the bits, right? The newest thing with the bits in the jar.
Oh yes.
Yeah, that's a new thing they want because bits is a new thing with Twitch. Yada yada yada.
Yeah,
So
but they
want to.
They
know
seem
that
to be
they're doing it.
or their face is covering 3/4 of the screen. It's like, get out of the way. I would just want to see the game.
Are you watching
Well,
women now? doing streaming?
truthfully, I mean,
because I know there are girls who do that.
The point of the Twitch is to broadcast the personality, right? Isn't that what they generally do? The person is broadcasting. Yes,
For
it's
some
the game.
people, yeah.
Yeah.
But I just want to see the game. I just want to see
True.
how cool it is, and
You
I want
have to go to another
yeah,
channel.
I want to see the reactions of the person. I don't need that to be the center of attention because otherwise I'll go to YouTube and watch YouTube videos if I want to see
But it
personalities.
makes me wonder if you're watching female streamers because there are some that do that. The whole.
I'm sure they're.
They capture. Well,
No, the whole. Their
jar?
camera's
that is incredibly sexist. Hey,
But it's
GG
true.
does not condone.
So he's calling me that what I'm saying is sexist when it's true. I've seen it.
No, we know.
No, but I know what you're saying. Basically, and Twitch actually they managed to tighten this up a little bit because it used to be crazy. You used to literally see gals in underwear playing with ridiculous like open shirt, like just showing
what's
just
funny?
showing boob.
Is that it still happens?
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
If you report them, they can be taken down. They can have the channels shut down because
Because they're trying to be on top of it. Some sort of
And
oversight.
they're
yeah.
trying
Yeah,
to be
they need to.
doing something.
But it was not as crazy as people having sex on Twitch. Although that
Apparently has
happens on
happened.
PlayStation.
I was gonna say
Sometimes I do like because
live from PlayStation.
I've
Like,
been-
Live
oh.
on PlayStation,
sometimes
yes.
people do like to have the cameras there, but like smaller, of course, in the corner, like they usually are, just to see people's reaction, especially in horror games.
Mm-hmm.
So they want to see
Yeah,
the
that's
reaction.
cool.
Not only that, it gives them, I guess, a close,
Connection with the
connection.
person.
I
yeah.
was going to say relation, but no, connection with the viewer and the streamer. Like a bond.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So those people who wish to capture footage from Destiny 2 while playing in exclusive full screen, meaning not
No
alt tabbing or
camera,
anything like
no.
that, just exclusive full. No, you can have camera and all that. They basically say that they can use hardware like Elgato, Avermedia, and Bungie also notes that both AMD, Relive, and NVIDIA Shadowplay are supported, which is weird because those are software-based. So I guess they're okay.
I
you
guess
know.
because it comes with whatever you.
Maybe they have a partnership.
Because I have Relive on my PC, but that's because I have an AMD
Yeah,
graphics card.
but that's weird because then why OBS is banned, but NVIDIA Shadowplay is okay.
I don't know. Honestly, I don't get it because I really don't.
Yeah, it looks.
Honestly.
I see
don't
their
know, it's
reasoning,
weird.
but I think
do
it was blown a little bit out of proportion when
Yeah,
it came
yeah.
to because there's not really restriction.
We'll
it's
see
just
how it works when the game comes out, or if they might change their minds. But we'll see how it works.
Yeah, they'll find ways. So yeah, they will find ways around. I just don't want cheaters. That's the thing, because that could kill. That will
could definitely
pretty
kill the
much
game.
that.
Yep.
That killed the division. So and on PC at least it did. Rockstar is being sued by. Being sued over Auntie
This is gonna be
Paulette.
hilarious.
Paulette.
Let me see.
The
Auntie Paulette.
Auntie Paulette, yes. You just probably asking who the hell is Auntie Paulette? Well,
Well, if you're too
An awesome
young
character.
to play
She-
that game, then you shouldn't be listening.
she is an awesome character from Grand Theft Auto Vice City.
Yes.
You heard that right. Vice City, a game that came out 15 years ago. There's a character there that she has like a Jamaican demeanor. She has a Jamaican accent.
I think it's supposed to be Haitian.
It's supposed to be no. I think she's supposed to be Jamaican. You know,
Okay.
and because of the whole Haitian
Community,
Jamaican
yeah.
thing over there in Vice City, not Miami,
Right?
the not Miami of Rockstar. So basically, the owners of the American TV Psyche persona, Miss Cleo, had just filed a lawsuit against Rockstar for allegedly profiting of the use of her image and her Jamaican accent for the character of Auntie Paulette. Because that went really well for Lindsay Lohan. Remember? Remember when Lindsay Lohan was also filing a lawsuit against Rockstar for them using her likeness in one of the screens of Grand Theft Auto 5. Yeah.
But
So
did you mention that she also plays the character too?
Oh,
who?
What's her face? She plays
Auntie Paulette?
Yeah.
Oh,
She
she
does the
actually
voice,
voicing.
yeah.
She was voicing him. I thought she was being. I thought they were imitating.
Wait.
No,
What?
if I when I read it, they said that she actually voiced the character.
No, 'cause then they wouldn't have a lawsuit.
Yeah,
they would have been
they
paid for it.
couldn't
yeah.
be able to have a
Yeah.
lawsuit against it. So yeah.
You never know. People are too happy these days.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
but they
true.
got to be smart also, because then
This one here, the only
lawsuits
thing,
are expensive.
this is true, especially if you're going to go up against Take Two.
Yeah,
This here, there's two things I wanted to kind of. There has to be some sort of like time frame or statute of limitation here where you can say
on the credits it'll say any resemblance to characters living or dead are purely coincidental. That's all. That's it.
But the funny thing is, and not to make light of this, but the woman who they are claiming she was being copied,
Miss Cleo?
She passed away, and at no point was this suit ever even mentioned or even brought up. And now that she's passed away, I guess whoever controls the estate is starting to make an issue of this?
No, the suit was brought by the Psychic Readers Network.
Oh, okay.
They're the ones that are claiming that Rockstar made more than 500 million exploiting the Miss Cleo persona, and points out that the company hired the actors who used to play Miss Cleo in real life. Shit, she was right.
Yeah.
Told you.
Are you serious? I did not see that part. That was at the very end. I just saw. All right. Points out that the company hired the actors who used to play Miss Cleo in real life, Yori Harris, to voice Auntie Paulette. Then what the hell is the?
That's what I'm saying. It's
what
so
the hell?
funny.
This is
That's
so
why I'm
okay.
laughing
So I understand. It's the image what they don't like. Is the that's fucking bullshit. You know what? Psychic readers, you couldn't see this coming, did you? Stupid asses. God.
I know, that's what
man.
I'm like, it's so stupid. Why are they even doing that? That makes no sense.
Oh my God, yeah.
frivolous lawsuit.
Now
guys.
it's even worse. Now that I know that, the person that played Miss Cleo, the actual person, the offended person. Oh, she lent her voice to make this character. So, of course, she looked like her. She is her. God bless dumbasses.
Yep. And again, they're going to try to go up against Takes Two. So
I
good luck
That's
with
why
that.
they think it's
hope that
ridiculous.
judge will make an example out of them. It's like, this is what you are to clog the system, the judicial system. I can't say that
I
without
hope they
sounding
put
drunk.
it in their face that she played her. Get over it.
Yeah. I'm sure they'll bring it up. If it gets to that point, because they may not even get that far. So
No.
Stupid psychic readers. You know what? I'm done. That's it. That's all I got for news.
All I'm thinking though is that they probably didn't know that she played Aunt Paulette.
And yet they're
like
psychic readers.
I know, that's like the only
And they don't know that.
thing that I can think that would
Possibly.
make them file a lawsuit.
maybe. Well, guys, we're going to take a quick break because we have to use the facilities, and we'll be right back.
Me first.
Genesis does.
16-bit arcade graphics,
You can't do this on Nintendo. Genesis does.
16-bit sports action.
You can't do this on Nintendo. Genesis
Does.
Genesis 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 does.
Get Joe Montana free, Pat Riley free, Buster Douglas free, Super Monaco GP free, or Collins free.
Genesis does.
What Nintendo?
Hello everyone, over there at the Mouthful podcast. This is the one, the only KaoxReaper. I'm here to tell you like I see it, but before I get on with that, I want to address last week's Hot Topic of the Week, which was a recap of the Comic-Con. Just a little piece of news real quick. The Spawn movie is finally getting produced. Been following this movie for years. I'm very excited about it. It's very important to me. Spawn is my favorite superhero. So they signed up with Blumhouse Production, which they produce movies like Paranormal Activity, Get Out, and Split. So it's going to be a horror movie. Spawn is going to be the boogeyman, and the main character will be Twitch, which is half of the Sam and Twitch duo in the comic books. Again, I'm excited about it. Can only hope for the best. In the next couple of years, hopefully it'll be a reality. Okay, now having that out of the way finally, this week is games that define their generations. Now, there's a lot of games that you can talk to per generation. I didn't make a list. I really should have. But, again, I'm still pretty busy, so I'm just going to go with what I can remember. And the first one I'm going to mention it's Pokemon. Seriously, it started on the Game Boy, right? This is still the Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis generation, and it's spawned a craze. It's a franchise so huge, it's amazing, and I love them seriously. all the main games, I absolutely love them. I have spent so many hours in them. It's incredible. Okay, I just want to start with that one right there, and I'm not gonna mention. I'm just gonna move on to the PlayStation 1 and Nintendo 64 gen, and I'm gonna go with Final Fantasy 7. Okay, which, as we all know, revolutionized RPGs. Gran Turismo, Metal Gear, Super Smash Brothers, Zelda, Ocarina of Time. Can't believe I almost messed that name up. And maybe not so much, but I did love Donkey Kong 64. So, whatever. Okay. For the PlayStation 2, Xbox, and GameCube. Now, I'm gonna be honest. From the GameCube onward, I didn't own a Nintendo console. So I will mainly mention just PlayStation and Xbox games. Even though I didn't own an Xbox, you can't deny, and I'm going to start off with this one. You can't deny the impact that Halo had on first-person shooters, especially its multiplayer. Okay, while Doom and Unreal Tournament, they started the first-person shooter genre. I believe that Halo was the one that really brought out the multiplayer to, I guess you call it, mainstream. For the PlayStation 2, I gotta mention Devil May Cry. Definitely, it's what Resident Evil 4 was going to be, but then they decided to make a game on its own. So in which case you have to mention Resident Evil 4, God of War, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. I believe had an impact on first-person shooters, definitely. Now, I'm not quite certain at what point in time that World of Warcraft started, but definitely World of Warcraft definitely had an impact in its own generation of games, creating this massive MMO. It's not the first MMORPG ever. It's not even the first 3D MMO, but it definitely is the biggest MMO, probably still out there. You got Last of Us. You got, again, God of War 3. I don't care what anybody says, that game is a staple of that generation. God bless God of War 3. Now, a game that that started in the PlayStation 3 and the last generation and this generation is Final Fantasy 14, which a lot of MMOs have tried the pay-to-play route and have ended up going free-to-play and failed because they couldn't keep up with the player base, or the content was not enough for what you were paying. Final Fantasy 14 to this day, it's still pay to play, and for me that's an achievement. You've had juggernauts like Elder Scrolls try it and failed. DC Universe Online tried it and failed, and Final Fantasy is still going in a game that failed miserably at launch, to the point that they had to shut down the servers and relaunch the game as A Realm Reborn. It's still going strong. Now, moving on to the current generation, I am going to start off mentioning Destiny, because Destiny was supposed to be the game to end all games. It was supposed to be a game that was open world, that was going to be damn near MMORPG size and content, and it wasn't. It was supposed to be competitive and everything, and it wasn't. Now, despite all that, it's still a good game for what it was. It got so much better in its later on, after the first year. So it does need to be mentioned, because it's still overall a pretty good game. And I mean, it's not going to be forgotten. Not now, not ever. Destiny is going to be Destiny now, and in 10 years from now, people will still be talking about Destiny. You also have to mention Forza, and Forza Horizon 3 specifically, which I actually have for PC, because God bless Microsoft and their endless stupidity on not having exclusive for their console. I actually get to play it, and it's totally amazing. the graphics, the settings, the vehicles, the customization. It's great. Love it. And there's so much more games. And I'm going to have to cut this message short because it's already gone on too long, and David is going to kill me because he's going to have to edit the hell out of this. So there's so many more games that you can mention that, again, I didn't make a list, but just like as I record this, I keep remembering games from either this generation or the past one or the one before that or even further back that it's amazing, the games that we've been able to play in our lifetime. And I can only hope that one day I will be able to create something that will join this games, you know, in defining a generation. So thank you for having me at the Mouthful Podcast, guys. This is KaoxReaper signing out. Have a good weekend, everybody. GG!
All right, guys, we're going to go right into our hot topic of the week.
Hot topic of the week.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
I know, it's been long overdue. I haven't done it in a while.
Yeah, and I don't.
It's not annoying at all.
It's not, and I didn't want to force you by saying, "Dude, why aren't you saying it?" You know, then feel like you're, you know.
Now I'm faking it.
Yeah, exactly. I want you to. It has to come from the heart.
The hot topic of the week. You guys are supposed to intonate with me. We.
There you go. That's our new hot topic bringing in theme.
Yes.
There you go.
There you go.
Man. All right.
So what are we talking about today, sir?
This week? It's quite the topic, guys. It's a stroll down memory lane, but also shining lights on games that defined their generation. And the way I wanted to do this, I wanted to go back. Technically, we are, if you go by the generations that are considered online, we are in the 8th generation of video games.
Jesus.
Believe it or not. And so
it's just like, wow.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
feel old and I wasn't even born through some of that.
Actually, I wasn't even born technically from when the first generation actually started up.
Well, actually, you mentioned the 7 generation console generations. I kind of want to. There's some games that have been formative in my life that didn't necessarily fall into the category of consoles.
Oh no, this is not, and these are not all console either.
Oh, okay.
No, yeah.
But the consoles are the ones that are usually generational.
They mark the generation because they're the ones who start a new generation. But this will include, which what I have here include games from PC. And when they came out, that's the generation they're considered to be part of.
The
Does
PC
that make
is
sense?
generationless, man. It's the Nirvana.
You're going to have to accept the
it's
fact.
eternal. It has no beginning and no end.
Consoles mark the beginning and the end of every Reich. Okay?
Here, smoke this.
So we're going to start.
So we're passing the peace pipe now.
Yes.
All right.
The peace pipe. We're going to start with the first generation. First generation
What would
are
you define the first generation?
consoles that were released within the years 1972 and through 1976, the year I was born.
Damn.
So that's the first generation.
I'm a first generation console then.
Me too.
Yeah,
Congratulations,
I'm
bro.
way after.
No. You're a Game Boy.
Actually,
That is
yeah, we'll figure out. We'll figure out where you're at. We'll figure out where you're
That's
at.
all right.
The only game, I mean, I wasn't even live, guys. The only game that I can see that really, really just sparked.
Let's be realistic. The only game. There's not going to be the seminal game.
The seminal game that sparked everything would be Pong.
Pong. Yes.
There was obviously a game that came out beforehand, which is credited for being the one that gave birth to the beginning. Which is in the
Tennis for Two.
60s.
Yeah, Tennis for Two used to be played on radar equipment, actually, believe it or not. And that was pretty much what you could say is the first video game.
The
A lot of people
granddaddy
think
of it all.
yeah, that's definitely, yeah.
Did you ever play Pong?
Realistic Pong on the arcade? No. But I did play Pong on Atari. Because here's the thing, right? In the 1970s, there was no consoles. Well, there was many consoles. I
Yeah,
should say.
that's-
Right,
yeah,
the
there's a
opposite.
lot,
There were
yeah.
many consoles, but they didn't have many games. They were all punk consoles. A lot of different variations on this game because I mean, obviously it caught like wildfire. You know, people were, wanting to play this game. Modding it. There was a modding scene.
There was,
back
back in the day.
You will have tons of punk consoles from like
different kind of
Magnavox, from like Odyssey. Or,
Yeah, yeah.
no, Odyssey, no.
The Magnavox Odyssey. That would.
Yeah,
These are some of the consoles at the time. None of which will sound probably familiar to most of our listeners. But yes, the Magnavox Odyssey, the Atari Pong, which was actually an Atari Pong machine.
An Atari Pong machine, wow.
Something called the Video 200, Philips Odyssey, another Odyssey, Coleco Telstar Arcade, and the Color TV game. TV-game. Which the Color TV -game was actually a Nintendo product, only released in Japan.
Oh wow!
So yeah, those were those are some of the ones that are considered from the first generation, and yeah, Pong pretty much ruled it all there.
Yeah, there's not much to say there.
Yeah.
Pong was, I mean that was the game of the era.
That was the game of the era.
Now there were games where people. They wanted to expand a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this might have been later on. That's not to say Pong was the only game that was released on that generation, obviously. But let's say, for example, there was a console where the way you played was the console itself had enough power to just show a Pong paddle on the screen that you could move around the screen, basically. But imagine it's like a line. However, you could actually tape this overlays over your TV, like literally over your screen. You will tape this overlays, and suddenly you have hide and seek, or a racing on a racing track. But it was just it'll be just two
Whatever's on-
shiny
yeah.
things like moving around. You have to move it around. It had a game with words, which I don't know how that worked because again, you just and you're done with the game. Well, take the plastic overlay out and put the next one.
Move on to the next game, but it's still the same dots.
But it's still this. Yeah, exactly. It's still the same two dots.
Wow. Well, that so we don't really have much to say on first generation other than thank you for starting it all.
Yeah. Another cool thing about the consoles of that era was the fact that the designs were completely out there.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
There was one that actually had a very incredibly realistic looking gun. Because back in the days,
Yeah,
I don't care.
nobody
You could
cared
look,
about guns,
it could look like
You
it
shoot
could
your
look,
eye out, nobody cares.
Yeah, no. It looked real. It
Yeah,
looked
nowadays, everyone's like, you gotta be padded up, bubble wrap, everything.
Yeah.
You have to have the little orange marker in the front.
Yes. This is not a real gun.
Oh yeah. Even for the airsoft, you would have to put like some tape or something on it to show that it's not real.
Sure it's not. All right, so we're going to go to the second generation. Second generation is from the time period. I've lost my page here. Excuse me for a second. It's years 1976 through 1983. And the consoles that would fall within to this period would be, obviously, the Atari 2600, which was my first console ever.
Yeah, mine too. 1977.
1977, that's right. You've had the VC 4000, Magnavox Odyssey again, an updated version of it. Bandai Supervision 8000, the Intellivision.
You had the Intellivision.
The ColecoVision.
Yeah.
Bless you. And the Vectrex and Entex. I don't know much of these over here, so we'll stick to the ones we know. But so that's the time period. The one that I can only say, and I think I told you this earlier, the one that meant something to me was because I did Pong, but I did Pong much later, obviously. But I'll never forget Combat on Atari.
Combat on Atari.
Combat was,
Yeah.
it was basically, it was a multiplayer game.
Yeah.
An early multiplayer. And basically you would control either tanks or planes. Which will be those like biplanes, I guess they're called, the propeller planes.
They can't, I think they had jets
And they had a jet
yeah.
mode too. And that was it. You would control one, the other would control it. You just have to shoot each other.
The first person
with some slow ass bullets.
or how about rebounding bullets?
Oh, rebounding bullets. That's
Yes.
right. Yes. That's about the only one that I remember from that one.
Let's be realistic. The Atari era was the one that heralded, gaming basically
Oh, yeah.
for a lot of people.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, it was also the era that brought the whole industry
shit down.
to a crash, to a massive crash.
A super flood of games,
But-
of crap games. Yeah.
Yes,
That did it,
yes.
yeah.
Among the games, we always gonna have like incredible classic game. One of favorites, Yar's Revenge.
Yar's Revenge.
The Pac-Man was a horrible version of Pac-Man.
It
Let's
was.
face it. It was a terrible version of Pac-Man,
was.
but it was Pac-Man. So there's the mere
was
fact that
home.
we're playing
How,
it.
how
It
was
was at
it
home.
terrible though?
He didn't look circle. He was almost looking like a duck, almost build type of
Like
thing.
a-
And
It was very
It was
rudimentary.
very It did not look anything
So
like
was
the
it
arcade.
like Beakman, Duckman?
Yeah, pretty much.
The thing is, the
Eat
thing
the
is,
pellets, eat the bird.
by that
eat the-
time, you saw
the
Pac-Man
bread.
on the arcades, and you saw him as a circle thing, the circle yellow thing, eating dots. Over here, it looks like an abomination.
Yeah.
It just-
But you still loved it. You know, it's like, hey, you have
it was
Pac-Man at home.
It was still
Yeah,
Pac-Man.
exactly.
Yeah. It was very rudimentary because this machine couldn't do. It didn't have a sound chip, or it had a sound chip, but it was like very basic. It could do blips and bloops, basically.
Yeah, pretty much,
So
yeah.
a lot of it was that. Another fantastic Atari game, Adventure.
Adventure. Everybody, yeah, that's the one that was that the no, that wasn't the Two Eyes. What was that?
The Adventure is the one that has the dragon that looks like a duck.
Oh,
when it follows you.
Yes.
But basically, it was a game where you have multiple maps. You actually will go over it, and I think you had to get this chalice, if I remember correctly. But you had to find this key, and you had to do this. You had to kill a dragon, so you had to take an arrow that was supposed to be your lance, but it was actually an arrow. Atari games were fantastic, man. Back
yeah,
in the day.
for what
the
it
time.
did.
Berserk-
Obviously, you had to use a lot of imagination on a lot of these things, especially games like Yar's Revenge.
I think at this point, I mean, back in the day, this was as best as it get. I'm thinking now with the games that we play right now, I'm thinking in 20 years we're gonna be looking back and thinking like, man, that actually looks horrible. I better put this virtual super reality that I can feel. But how can anybody plays a game in front of a TV? Come on.
Yeah, I hope they keep virtual reality / augmented reality separate from your couch plus.
Yeah, you don't want
Yeah,
that
I
to be
agree.
the replacing. But what I'm trying to say is that back in the day, I don't feel like you needed imagination. I mean, you needed imagination with the Atari, with the Pong machines and the ones that I was telling you with the overlays. This ones, you were getting your fantasies realized, basically.
For the first
you,
time
You
ever,
wanted
yeah.
to play Spider-Man, you had a Spider-Man game, and you were controlling that character,
I had games like, was it called Gunfighter, where it just looked like two dudes from standing on one end, standing one other end, they would just shoot, and you would just try to avoid the bullets because again they move that slow. But it was the best. It was the best for me.
And, hey, it had Custer's Revenge.
It had Pitfall.
No. Custer's Revenge was the first porn Atari game.
Yes, it did. You're right. You're
And
right.
oh my God, was this terrible. You basically you were custard. Or is that, I don't even know. That's just, but basically, all you had to do was try to get to the female Native American.
Native American, yeah.
On the right and score with her.
Yeah,
basically.
pretty much.
It
And
was-
it would happen like really fast.
And arrows will fall down from the sky, and you're trying to avoid it. I mean, I never played this game. I know, bro.
I never played either, but I've seen it. I've seen it. What it looks like. So that would be Generation 2. Again, I was very young, so
I feel like we have more. I feel like it should be more.
from
That was Custer Revenge.
Custer
Oh,
Revenge,
yeah, you
that's
looked
the
for
one.
it. Oh, my God. You know what? That's not safe for.
yeah, that's not safe for
Eyes.
for eyes.
For
That looks so
younger
rudimentary.
eyes. We're not going to put that anywhere. No. I just thought it was hilarious.
That's that's all I have. If you have something else that you want to include in there that
Atari
was
games.
memorable.
Atari games that were super.
What about
memorable.
ColecoVision? Didn't you have a ColecoVision?
I own the ColecoVision. Yeah,
Okay.
I traded it for a Transformer. I think it was.
Wow.
Oh yes, and the ColecoVision was, I mean, talk about a system where you could actually literally play Atari games on it. You know, you could actually insert Atari. I don't remember. I think it had an expansion for it.
So this would be the beginnings of backwards compatibility.
Backwards compatible, except if you could play
sideways,
Sony
maybe?
games on Xbox, yeah, this would be the equivalent.
Oh, the equivalent of porting.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, because you were using the actual Atari games instead of ColecoVision. But ColecoVision didn't have a lot.
Well, no, they're different companies. But I was gonna say that's like where you could use the cartridges from Nintendo, their handhelds on other handheld but it's their handheld.
It's all the other handhelds.
Oh yeah,
that's nothing. No.
That's compatibility though.
That's compatibility. Yeah, the ColecoVision. The only game that comes to mind, and it was not even a ColecoVision game. It was for it. It was there. It was Donkey Kong. Mm-hmm. Playing Donkey Kong. If you had a ColecoVision, you had Donkey Kong. That's it.
You know. From other reasons, even Frogger was there too.
Frogger was,
Frogger,
yes. Yeah. Early
Oh,
Frogger,
I think that started maybe in the arcades.
Frogger.
Yeah.
Well,
but
it's true. It's true. Those, by
a
that time,
a lot of things started in arcades, and then you were getting home.
By that time, the arcade scene was on fire. You know, and
yeah, who doesn't love the arcade?
And I feel like around that era, if we were going to talk about, hey.
You got Pac-Man, like you mentioned.
Pac-Man will be the defining game of that era of arcade games.
I would definitely Pac-Man. Yeah, I would say and Mrs. Pac-Man probably.
Or picking one for Pac-Man.
I would also probably say Asteroids. I mean, that was a huge for a lot of people.
Asteroid was more on Atari.
Was that Atari? I thought that was a...
No, that was an arcade.
Yeah,
that was an
arcades,
arcade. But I'm saying, I played it.
Yeah.
I had it on Atari game. Anyway.
Yeah, that wasn't a good one, though.
All right. So to recap, we got Pong on the first generation. Second generation, which one do we feel like? If we had to pick one, let's try to
say Pac-Man. You can't. Yeah, Pac-Man was the one people were waiting for. You wait for somebody to get off the machine so you can get on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Pac-Man was the one.
Everyone still loves Pac-Man too.
And you still, at least I still enjoyed the crappy version of Atari.
Yeah.
Because I have Pac-Man at home. That's all I say. You know.
Pac-Man, yeah. And in Atari, Combat was the bundle game with Atari. So you always, that was. But if we had to pick one, I say
definitely Pac-Man. I agree. Yeah. So for now, we're going to get into a little bit more of what we're probably do know.
Actually, before we get it, let's clarify what happened. So Atari had this big hoopla, and then suddenly the market, because there was no quality control, the market got saturated, like super saturated with like whatever games and crap games. You know, sort of like what happened to the Wii. And next thing you know. There was the games will be, you couldn't sell the games because it was already all oversaturated to the point where
you had $40 to $50 games that people actually put a lot of time into, or you can buy a bunch of like a $10 pack of 5 games.
And then Atari decides to make E.T. to correspond with the movie in about 6 months.
Weeks.
The movie was coming 6 weeks.
6 weeks. Yeah,
I thought it was 6 months.
The time frame to do the
can you fact check that the for Atari? So the movie was coming, and they actually have the idea to this is gonna be big. This is the next Steven Spielberg's movie. We should make a tie-in, because it's gonna sell like gangbusters. Well, we don't have anything ready. Well, just we gotta do something. We gotta release a game with this movie. They went ahead and did. It was E.T., the worst game, or one of the worst games now.
One of them,
of all time, because the game was literally broken. The release, and it's not like you could patch the game.
No, there was no patches.
Nowadays, it's funnily enough, people that have modified the ROMs to fix the problem that didn't allow you to beat the game. But back then, the game was pretty much broken, and it was a mess. It was, I'm sure most of you have seen the videos right now. You're trying to control E3. You go to the next screen, suddenly you fall into this hole. You had to extend your neck to float away from the hole.
5.5 weeks.
5.5 weeks. Make a game in 5.5 weeks. Yeah.
Yes.
What are you, Bungie?
So yeah, that was disastrous, and
So,
it
of
almost
course-
all ended there.
Yeah, it pretty much. This could have died. This could have been the end of gaming as we knew it, until we had a savior from Japan.
Yes, and it all starts in the third generation. Third generation runs from consoles that were released from 1983 through 1987. Obviously, these consoles have a long life cycle past that, but these are the release window generation. This is where you start getting into the good, the meaty, the bigger games, the ones that I remember.
The games that will be faithful almost to the arcades that you remember playing. Almost.
I think they're from this generation. First off, let me give you an example of some of the consoles of this. Obviously, you had the early PC. The Nintendo Entertainment System came out in 1983. The Sega Master System,
the Lord
in
and
85.
Savior of that generation
Yes.
of gaming.
Atari 7800 and something called the Action Max.
Whatever that is.
Whatever the hell that was.
Hey.
What?
What the hell? I think there is a humongous gap there that you haven't filled, sir.
Oh, go ahead, talk to me.
I was gonna let you redeem yourself for forgetting. Do I have to spell it out? Sega.
I said that already.
You said Sega Master
That's
System.
the second one I said. Nintendo, Sega Master System, Atari 7800.
I don't think he's paying attention right
I don't
now.
think so either. Yeah.
I'm not paying attention.
You know what it was? It was because Nintendo took over for that.
Yeah,
hot
Nintendo.
moment.
Yeah, I was basking in the glory that was the NES.
So this is the generation.
Did you mention the Atari
that-
7800?
I did.
Okay.
That gave us Super Mario Brothers.
Super Mario Brothers. That's it.
Can
All
you-
right.
Can you
So,
think
fourth
of something
generation-
better? Can you think of something that came out of this generation that was more influential, more that set a bar to say, okay, this is where we need to go?
Yeah, no. There was a ton of fantastic creations in this generation, and in all the both consoles. I'll say.
Yeah.
I mean, there were more than all consoles, but the Atari 7800, unfortunately, even though it sported good hardware, games were not taking advantage of that hardware, and most people were still playing 2500, 2600 games, and they were fine with it. So. But
It wasn't that far after.
No,
either,
no, no.
So that's what it was. yeah.
No. And you have, Sega Master System, a game that, supposedly superior hardware to the NES. But again, if the games are not there, Nintendo Entertainment System brought us Super Mario Brothers. It brought us Contra. It brought us Double Dribble.
Double dribble.
Yeah, double
Dribble.
Thank you. He brought us Blaze of Steel. There's so many fantastic games of that era that this system by itself, we shouldn't even take one game. We should just take the whole system and be like, okay, this was the savior of gaming because they did something different that game companies hadn't done until then, which was
Curate
the games. Yeah, the Nintendo seal of approval. It's not. It didn't guarantee, hey, this game's not gonna be shit. He just said this game is not gonna be broken. It's gonna run and it's gonna have a level of quality. But yeah, without a doubt.
That said, though, I do want to shine some lights on a couple of games that maybe may not be the most, I guess, important from that generation, but definitely introduce themselves. One, specifically, Metroid. And the fact that, spoilers, Samus is a girl.
What?
Yeah. So this
think
is
everyone
an
should know that
early on.
already.
I know this is an early on thing where suddenly you're playing a female, a strong female, and this is the 80s, guys. Okay, this is back when you didn't have Aloy, you didn't have Lara Croft. This was a strong woman, and people were a little bit blown away at the end when it goes, holy crap, that's a woman.
Sir,
But you know what? They love that game.
Yes,
I
great
wouldn't
game.
give him that much credit though, because for doing all that,
I'm not saying that they did this with the forethought to say, hey, we're going to be forward thinking.
No. But I'm saying in this case, you would think that you get to play as a female character. That's something. That's something very progressive from Nintendo. But then they completely undermine it by doing like, hey, but if you beat the game in less than 3 hours, you can see Samus in a bikini.
That said, it's a start, sir. You have to start somewhere. And
it's like, oh, no, this is a Japanese game.
I'm going to give credit where credit is due. They started somewhere.
I'm not going to give it that much.
You know how many, you had mostly kids and teenagers playing that game? You know how much they'll probably try and beat it?
Yeah,
in
of
less
course.
than 3 hours.
Yeah.
Just to get
The
Samus in a bikini.
the moment you hear, oh, snap.
They went
Another
back
one.
home and started playing.
Another one I want to bring up, and this is more due to some of the graphics on it being a little better, was Mega Man 2. Way better than Mega Man 1. Not that Mega 1 was bad, but Mega 1 was really hard, and it was a little rough around the edges. Mega Man 2 really, especially some of those larger bosses, were really nice and vibrant. And of course, I got to give it, if I have to pull one from this one to say this is the one that did it all, I have to go with Super Mario Brothers 3.
I know you were going to say that.
I know Super
But I
Mario
have to
Brothers.
disagree.
I know Super Mario Brothers started it all, and it was the one. You know what I mean? It came with your console on top of that. You know what I mean? But I definitely have to give it to that one as being probably very, very influential. That
Let me tell you, I have no doubt. Super Mario Brothers 3 might as well be the best NES game, period. There's no doubt. But we're not talking about the best NES game.
No, I'm not talking about that.
We're going to be talking about the influential game.
The game to define it.
If I had to talk about a game to define it, then I have to give it to Super Mario Brothers.
The first one.
The first one,
Okay.
yeah. Super Mario Brothers was not a game where Miyamoto intended to make as, this is going to be a platformer and you're going to rescue, this princess. And yes, that's the underlying game in itself, yes. But his idea was more like, okay, this is going to be an active game where you're going to have some obstacles and you're going to try to overcome those obstacles. You're going to be constantly moving and running and stuff like that. That was his idea of making an active game, even though you are sitting on your ass trying to save the princess.
In his mind, the story comes later.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So and without Super Mario,
Yeah,
obviously we wouldn't have
Super
Super Mario Bros. 3. Yeah.
Definitely. I definitely agree with that. So, but my vote still goes for Super Mario Brothers 3. Shadow, do you have a vote for the game that defined that generation?
You were a baby.
You were a baby.
No.
You were not even in the plans.
What years was it?
1983, 1987 is the console release.
No,
I'll give you
I
some
was-
games.
Your mom was a baby.
Oh, okay.
No, not even close. No, my mom. No, my
not
mom
even
was
close.
like
Don't age her.
14, 15 there.
All right, so we'll move on to the fourth generation. Fourth generation was from 1987 to 1995. Consoles released
There you
within
go.
this.
That's my generation.
Oh, there we go.
There you go.
All right.
Welcome to the conversation.
Yeah.
Join us.
I was
Fourth
at the
generation.
very end of that generation.
I'm going
Okay.
to. I'm obviously just mentioned the ones that the biggest ones from
Tell
that
me the
generation.
years again.
1987 to 1995, we have the TurboGrafx 16 in 1987,
Oh, yes.
the Sega Genesis in 88, Neo Geo in 1990, Super Nintendo in 1990. You have the 32X in 1994, right at the end, tail end of the of that particular generation. Lots of games coming out of here, guys.
Yes.
Lots of games.
I would say.
I would have to bring up probably. There's a couple I think that are great. You'll probably agree with this one. This was actually on PC around that, so it's not even one of the consoles. UFO Enemy Unknown was a
XCOM,
squad by
yes.
the birth of XCOM, squad based, turn based RPG, permadeath. A lot of things introduced here. A lot of things that make you freaking want to destroy the screen.
Yes.
I think that's a really good one. Sonic the Hedgehog was introduced here thanks to
Yes.
this 16-bit era. Probably my favorite game, or one of my favorite games, Link to the Past, The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. PC, going back to PC, Doom was
Doom
within
was
this
released,
area
yes.
as well. Super Mario World, yes, we can throw that in there as well. But as far as game defining, I think I have to go with.
I'm looking at you like, okay, let's see. Because
I have to
like,
go with
I
the game.
You're gonna be wrong. You're gonna be wrong.
I would have to grow a Chrono Trigger on that. So.
Oh, you
Yes.
not only
It's-
you
it's
were
a-
He
dead
had
wrong. This is
Sonic,
I
this
was gonna
is
say Link to the Past.
generation defining
I-
game.
Dude,
It'd
there
be
was.
between Doom and Link to
Sir,
the Past.
let me
honestly.
Are you thinking Doom? Is that what's going on?
Not well. I'm trying to
don't
see.
forget
This is
Sonic
because
in there.
consoles because consoles are the ones that are separating the generations.
The line, yeah, basically.
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to Doom because obviously Doom.
that's fine, yeah.
Doom was a game that pretty much brought PC gaming to a level of console gaming. Because believe it or not, back in the day, console gaming was where
the
you
quick-
get the
yeah.
most powerful games. The best games you will always get in consoles. PC games, you were playing like 2 colors. And 4 colors. Yeah, no kidding. So I obviously you have to, I have to give it its due. Doom is amazing. Over
I
there.
agree.
But
It's great.
But
That's funny.
if we were talking about consoles, there is one game that defines that. We're talking about the 16-bit generation, and I'm not saying this is the best game.
No,
This
hey.
is not about the best game. It's
No,
not
it's
that.
not. It's not.
It's about a very influential game, a very a game that it pretty much encompasses that era. That game is Sonic the Hedgehog. I'm not joking. This is not a joke. It is my firm belief, and the belief of some experts also, that Sonic the Hedgehog is the game that defined that generation. Not because it's the best game, but because it is the game that brought us something a little bit different. Again, it's not saying it's the best game.
No, hey, I know you're not because I,
I want to
know it's
clarify.
not.
I want to clarify. When we talk, we got to be careful of making this distinction. Yes, Chrono Trigger, Final Fantasy VI, Super
There's a lot
freaking
of
Mario
games.
World.
Well, the reason-
is
yeah.
they're like blown away fantastic. But are they defining the generation, or are they like? What do you call when you fix it, when you make it better?
I know what you mean, yeah.
Refining,
A refined version, yeah.
refined version of stuff. So
So you're looking at the ones that started all, not the ones that perfected it.
well, I'm not trying
That's
to
what
go
it sounds
back,
like.
but usually it's just that they tend to fall into like one of the in the first games. But you're gonna find that that's not always the case, because when let's say on the PC era, yes, Doom was amazing, but there were other games that came before it that brought some amazing leaps on that on PC. Which the fact that you can scroll, for example, that was something that you take for granted on the NES, but on PC that was like an amazing feat, to be able to do. So yeah, it's just so happened that this is one of the first games, but. No, fuck that. That's not even the first game. Altered Beast would have been, if I would have said that. I don't think Altered Beast would have been on anybody's list.
But I
Not
mean, we've all
mine,
been-
But
that's for sure.
I'm just saying, I think a game that defined the 16-bit,
The 4th generation, yeah.
the 4th generation,
Well, Sonic the Hedgehog.
Sonic the Hedgehog. Yeah.
I would. I mean, I guess critically, wouldn't you think Sonic the Hedgehog 2 was the better?
Yeah,
that
but
seems
then
to be
again,
the
it's one of
everybody-
those cases where, well, yes, but Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is a refinement
Of the
Sonic
first
the Hedgehog.
one.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, but the first one's what brought it out. when
True,
everyone was
true.
like, oh my goodness.
True, but what do you remember?
I mean, what
Because I remember, that's what I go back to. I tend to remember. I tend to look at the ones that I remember. So this is a meaningful one. The reason I bring up Chrono Trigger is simply you have. It's a multiple ending. The multiple endings is a big thing to it.
Big thing, yeah.
And it was a fleshed out story. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's an amazingly fleshed out story. So, storytelling to gaming, it was something that was. It was just there. You know what I'm saying? There are characters you like. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I'm trying.
It was. Hey, now you're playing a game for the story.
For the story, yeah. Which is, you had some story in the other ones, but this was an epic adventure.
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
And
I mean,
yes,
Zelda 3 also had a story.
yeah, Zelda also did.
But I know what you mean. No, I know what you mean.
This is
I'm
what
not-
impacted him. Like, oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
Hey, there's gonna be
Perhaps,
one
yeah.
that I know for a fact that impacted him dearly when we get to that. We're gonna get there soon. But I kind of want to point out that because you mentioned this is all the way to 1995.
95. the
Okay,
console.
all right. I'm gonna sidestep again consoles, and this time also PC and focus on arcades. There was an arcade game here that it was the quintessential. Like, this is the game that defined, that brought us like into the arcade cabinets. Go back, go crazy, have fun, spend oodles of money.
Oodles of money.
And that game was Daytona, USA.
That's not what I was thinking. But
No,
okay.
no, I know you.
don't,
You saw me.
Yeah.
You saw me.
I saw
You
it.
were looking at me like, yes, it's coming. He's gonna say it. He's gonna say it. You probably thought I was gonna say Street Fighter 2.
Yes.
You probably thought I was gonna say Mortal Kombat.
No.
But no. I'm saying Daytona USA. I'll tell you why. Daytona USA. It's a racing game. For those of you who don't know.
Yes.
Daytona USA was the first game. That was made to be full 60 frames per second in an era where people didn't know what frame rate was or cared about until they realized. That game became very famous because it was buttery smooth. It had a great gameplay. It had a fantastic soundtrack, and it was just simply driving. You know, and granted, I'm gonna give you that. Yes, Street Fighter 2. We should be mentioning Street Fighter 2 because Street Fighter 2 is...
But that was more arcade scene.
That was...
Which just still came out during that time, so it's still considered.
When I'm thinking of technology, like leaps in technology, it wasn't until 3 years or 4 years later that we were able to make something similar on console. So I have to give it to Daytona USA. Yes,
I'll just stand up for Street Fighter real quick and say birth of the fighting genre.
Absolutely. without a doubt, Street Fighter 2 I owes me so many quarters.
It does. Dollars.
You know
So
what's
many
funny,
dollars.
honestly, is that we had a Sega Genesis, you know, but I only remember playing maybe later 90s, early 2000s. I remember playing Aladdin and,
Oh, yes, the Disney games,
Aladdin.
yes.
and Lion King.
Oh,
Those were fantastic
They were,
games.
right?
And
Yeah.
Aladdin was hard.
Yes.
Everybody says
Extremely
that.
hard.
I never had an issue with. They said the same thing with Lion King. I'm like, I never had an issue with Lion King. I thought it was fine.
Fine.
Well,
Get good.
This is coming from like kids.
No,
versus adults.
yeah. It could be. Perhaps that's what it is.
Yes. She was 5 years old. Come on, man.
Okay.
Come on, Mad Dog.
Get good, girl.
I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming.
All right.
I still put my vote on Daytona USA because Daytona.
Oh my God. Moving on to the fifth generation,
I
guys.
think I played that one time.
Yeah,
in the
everybody
arcade.
has.
Oh my God. I won. Okay. Go ahead.
Fifth generation, 1993 through 1998. This would be, again, we're going with console to mark the line. You have the Atari Jaguar.
So what's funny is that I'm in both fourth and fifth generation with the consoles.
Oh, okay,
You're-
there you go,
you're- yeah?
The first PlayStation, the Sega Saturn, the
Ooh,
3DO,
I had a PlayStation.
the 64, Nintendo 64,
Nintendo
the
64.
I had
Amiga,
that too.
Wow.
CD32. So these were I guess, the biggest ones of that time period.
This is the fifth generation.
Fifth generation,
Fifth
93
generation.
to 98.
I already know.
I have to give it to, I hate to
Wait. Are we going to mention some games from each
Oh, yeah,
each
yeah.
console?
So you kind of can find out where we're at. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
So
games like
PlayStation, Tomb Raider.
you have Tomb Raider.
On
You have-
PlayStation?
on the first
Yeah,
PlayStation.
On PlayStation.
All right.
You have
All right.
Resident Evil.
No,
Okay.
son. All right. Let
Oh,
me
no,
just.
I'm
let me
laying
drop
down
it.
I'm laying down the
Just-
ground.
I wanna drop it.
groundwork.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Do not drop your phone,
Okay.
though.
Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
Yes.
GoldenEye 007. Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
yes. Oh,
That's an
yes.
influential
And
one. Hello.
also-
The Birth of Deathmatch.
Don't forget, you also had Final Fantasy 6, 7,
Thank you. Oh my God.
I was getting to it.
Seven
Come
and
on.
eight. My bad. 7 and 8.
I was going to
I'm
say, yeah,
sorry.
7, 8, because 6 was the prior generation.
Yeah. And technically, the birth of Deathmatch was actually on Doom, but let's
Okay.
continue.
Yes. Okay.
Final Fantasy.
Quake also.
You had Metal Gear Solid.
Metal Gear
Yeah.
Solid.
Let me tell you,
Holy
that one right
mother.
there is
Yeah.
a massive one, okay?
Let me
You know
tell you,
what's-
the 5th generation was awesome. This was the we haven't
This was the highlight of everything.
to this day we haven't had this level of generational leap
Yes.
as we
and
had
innovation on top of that.
as we had from the from the 4th generation to the 5th generation.
Oh, don't forget Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah, 3D
Come on, get out,
platformers.
man. Get out,
Super
get out.
Mario
You're
64.
excused.
I have to say this.
We're talking
If you're
about
gonna-
good games here.
If you're going to throw in Crash
out,
into the
then.
ring, you're going to have to throw in Super Mario, because Super Mario 64
Super Mario 64. Oh yeah,
was
without
the,
it. Yeah, come
an
on.
extremely influential
It
one.
is-
And
yeah,
this one broke
absolutely.
barriers. This okay, this is how you do 3D gaming, guys.
Absolutely.
Has to be included
No
into
doubt.
that. Ocarina of Time, which came out after that.
Oh my God!
Another one.
I
Yeah,
forgot about that. Yes.
Don't forget
Yes.
the first Super Smash Brothers and Mario Party.
Yeah.
Also, I want to throw in if because I have to use a little bit of PC here. Diablo 2. That's the time it came out. System Shock 2. These are game.
Yes.
These are
Hey, you like your Bioshocks?
Yeah, exactly.
I
I,
got your-
wouldn't have
I got
one.
your
It was-
System Shock.
So most the one that defined the 5th generation. First off, good luck pinpointing it here.
Oh my God! I have
Honestly,
it.
we can't because
have
they
it.
all did.
I'm going to
it.
tell you. I'm going to tell you what it was. I already mentioned it. GoldenEye. I spent so much time on that death match. Are you kidding me? No, this is it. This is the birth of the first person shooter.
Again, it's not the birth. It came out on Doom.
Oh, I know. I'm talking about the death match thing.
Okay.
The
Console.
the
The
3D.
console
console,
damage.
yes.
All right.
I
Yeah.
think
So-
the birth of not online of multiplayer.
Of the console.
Multiplayer.
Of multiplayer, of play mode. Though I think Doom had it as well.
Yes,
But it was
let's niche this as much as we can. You know,
Don't forget.
Nintendo's bad. First,
I loved it. I loved the Nintendo 64. I loved GoldenEye. I cannot tell
All right,
you
all
how
right.
much time was burnt.
Shadow, he's obviously misguided. Please
yeah.
enlighten us.
Talk.
Which is the game of this generation, Shadow? Please go ahead.
You know, that's a very big weight on my shoulders.
All right,
I know
so
you have it right.
so the we can say that Metroidvania was born here.
Oh,
No,
God, yes, I guess we can say that. Yeah,
Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
Symphony
That's
of
the
the
one
Night.
that,
That's
that
Don't
true.
forget that Final Fantasy VII was also a very big thing too.
Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
Oh hell yeah! Oh,
Yeah.
that's what got me into Japanese RPGs.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
didn't
yeah,
play. I was like, hello, this is the one that did it all.
Honestly, that also sparked my love for Final Fantasy.
Everybody's afraid of bringing the answer, so I'm just gonna go ahead and lay it out the cards and say
More of the fact that I don't know it. He probably, I don't know.
he's
Which one?
thinking of GoldenEye.
Yes.
I
Talk
think
to me.
the game that defined this 5th generation, without a smidgen of doubt,
Talk to me.
Final Fantasy VII. Thank you. Good night.
Okay, we just said it though.
I
know.
know.
He
No.
just wants to
Nobody
repeat it.
was willing to commit. No. You guys weren't committed. You guys were like, yeah, it's great.
Because
Yeah,
there
but
was a-
GoldenEye.
I'm sorry.
But
if I
because
look,
there was a
although,
lot of good games that
I
defined
gave you the chance.
generation.
I gave you the chance to say it and to commit. It is Final Fantasy VII without a doubt. Because yes, we had
I think a lot of people who did not play RPGs started playing
yes,
because
absolutely.
this converted a lot of people over to it.
And
It's
that's
like,
the thing,
whoa,
right?
What is this?
We
Yeah.
got Mario, which was amazing. Its biggest thing was
also,
bringing stuff onto the 3D
Wasn't
world.
the first Gran Turismo?
Yeah, the
also
Gran-
around this
Gran
month?
Turismo.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, but we already had Daytona USA. So
He's like, yeah, whatever. I'm like, but this is for home.
I think that there has to this day. Well, I shouldn't generalize like that. But at that time, that game brought so many players into the RPG genre that otherwise they would have ignored completely. It brought us a story, like a full, like
A well-written
realistic,
story, yes.
well written.
That
Well,
brought all
allegedly,
of
because he
us-
has his horrible errors.
That's his
Don't
medicine.
forget, it brought all of us to heartbreaking, possibly tears. And we
Yes.
all know which scene
one
it
of the-
was.
One of the first games that legitimately makes you cry. Wow, I cannot believe they went there. It was awesome.
It can be argued that happened the prior generation
Also,
in Chrono Trigger. But
do not forget.
I'm not going to deny
Do
it.
not
I'm
forget,
gonna
it
deny
was also one of the first games to be extremely long with multiple CDs to use.
Well, that was a limitation of the
yeah,
hardware.
okay.
though.
I'm not
I
sure.
know,
I'm not
but
sure if it was the first
still.
one though.
But
But
one
yeah,
of the, you know.
Yeah,
Cause,
yeah.
no,
Come
because
on.
well, I don't know which one came out.
Because
first.
I mean, realistically, Final Fantasy VI is still the better game. But if we're
Influential,
gonna talk
yeah.
about inflation,
definite defining moment.
the final moment, the moment that Final Fantasy VII came out is the moment that PlayStation got sold like hotcakes.
I
Wasn't
would like-
that the first Final Fantasy game that came to
PlayStation?
overseas.
Oh no, that's not the
No,
first
we
one.
have we
No,
have
that's not the first.
But the funny thing was
First
that
one to PlayStation though.
they were doing it. They were doing it in a weird way because Final Fantasy 1 was Final Fantasy 1. Final Fantasy 2 here was Final Fantasy 4 in Japan. Final Fantasy 3 here
Was Final Fantasy
Fantasy
6,
6. So Final Fantasy, when it came to Sony, they decided to fuck that weird numeration. Final Fantasy 7 is gonna be Final Fantasy 7. Final Fantasy 8 is gonna be Final Fantasy 8, and so on.
I want to shine a quick light on Hideo Kojima's Metal Gear Solid.
Yes.
That game
You know, I still have
introduced
the-
cinematic, a real good voice acted cinematic experience.
Oh, okay.
to any game, I guess. You know what I mean? I think that's an important one as well.
Okay,
You know what I mean?
I got it confused. I thought you were talking about cutscenes. I was gonna say
No, not
Ninja
cutscenes.
Gaiden
No.
had cutscenes.
True,
and
true,
also
true.
to have I would want to say espionage in 3D.
Yeah,
Yeah.
'Cause,
I think that
I mean,
was.
it did have previous Metal Gear.
Hey, Golgo 13 had espionage and 3D on the NES. You
It
remember
did
Golgo
have-
13?
Yes, I do.
Golgo 13. The
I
shit.
used to see the anime on that too.
You know what's funny is that I still have the CD and the case to that game.
For Gogo 13?
No, for Metal Gear.
Oh, okay.
Metal Gear.
Metal Gear?
Behind D.
Also, what I remember, they were the PlayStation can also play.
Music disc.
Yes, music discs.
Oh, yeah.
Also, foreign games because I have a collection of Dragon Ball Z original. Japanese
yeah,
game.
it wasn't
unlocked?
it wasn't territory. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was not territory locked.
Yep.
That's
And
true.
I
they
thought you were
they
gonna say
fun,
you could play
honestly.
Mikey Marks, make your own video, and CNC Music Factory. They have make your own videos.
And
It was
also, they
awesome.
had the portable PlayStation 1 with the little mini PlayStation 1 with the little TV on it.
I think that probably came out a little bit later, but I
It
know
was
what you're saying.
later,
Yeah,
but
it
you
was
know.
later.
And it didn't come with the TV. You had to buy that shit. That's later.
No, it
No,
had
it
one
did.
that,
It
that
had a
opened up like
TV.
almost like the clamshell.
Yeah, but the clamshell was an accessory that you
No,
buy.
wasn't.
It was
came
not.
with it.
Oh, I thought it came with it.
No, that was not the PlayStation. PlayStation did not release a little handheld that that was like that.
No,
I
it
had
wasn't
one.
a handheld. It was
It
a thing
wasn't.
on the.
Are we talking about the PSP? Because PSP is
No,
the
not
only
the
no,
PSP.
it
It
was
was a
literally-
little mini PlayStation 1 that you would lift off the thing and it would have a screen on it and you would plug into it
Yes.
and then play that.
That thing that you lift off, you buy that separate.
That's separate. Okay,
Yeah.
so I thought it came
That's
with
weird
it.
because I had it and it came with it.
Oh,
Then you have a pirated Chinese knockoff.
it's possible. All right, moving on.
That's
Sixth
all right, I played
generation.
well, even if it
Sixth
was.
generation.
Sixth generation.
This is
we
where
have-
shit got real.
This is things really started to turn up. 1998 to 2005.
There were not that many consoles anymore.
No,
are they?
we're weaned down a lot.
Yeah.
Wow, you had
Major
the-
ones: Dreamcast,
Yeah.
PlayStation 2,
Yeah.
GameCube, Xbox.
The only thing I didn't have was an Xbox, but I had the other three.
I never owned a Dreamcast. I had never seen a Dreamcast in the wild.
And the biggest thing for Dreamcast was Crazy Taxi and Sonic.
Crazy Taxi. Hey, did we mention Sega CD? Oh yeah, we mentioned last generation. It wasn't
True.
monumental. Sega CD was garbage. So.
So, games that probably did
I
some
already
good
have my
stuff.
answer on that one also.
I'm gonna throw some stuff out here.
Yeah.
You gotta give it to while I didn't really play it, I understand its importance. GTA San Andreas. Mm-hmm. That was
that was not the one I was expecting, but you're not wrong.
What's funny is that I forgot to mention for the previous generation was the first Grand Theft Auto.
I will give it.
Well, wasn't the first one on PlayStation 2?
It was PlayStation.
Wait.
Yeah,
No,
the first Grand Theft Auto that was top-down.
Oh,
That was top-down.
PlayStation.
Yeah, come on. Yeah,
I
yeah,
had
that's
that
right.
game.
I was thinking of 3 with Claude. My bad.
It's where you can actually burp and fart.
I will.
Like Earthworm Jim.
I will say Vice City.
But you know what's funny?
Instead of San Andreas, but San Andreas was awesome.
San Andreas was the
But
one that.
Vice City, bro.
No, get me wrong. The Vice City was my favorite.
No, let's be
Honestly.
realistic. I think it's Vice City more than San Andreas.
I think San Andreas is the one that everyone points at. This is the one that it extrapolated on it all. You know what I'm
I think
saying?
you're committing it confused with Vice City, bro. Really? I think you should double check.
I didn't even play.
One.
I didn't even play San Andreas. I can tell you that this is the one that everyone just points back to. Like, oh, this is.
I played
and
them
I
all.
like Vice
San
City.
Andreas was amazing.
You know,
but
I can
Vice
actually
City,
tell you guys. I think the reason why with San Andreas because they put in that you don't need to be in cars. You can ride bikes. Also, they gave you the option to.
Although you can ride motorcycles on Vice City.
Vice City,
I know, but bikes like bicycles.
Yeah. Bicycles.
Also, the
You can get
option.
fat.
You can
for
get in
eating too
planes,
much.
too.
Yes, that's where you can. You have a stat system where you can, if you eat too much, you gain fat. If you go to the gym, it'll.
Again, we're talking about the best.
I know.
Series. I'm talking about
I know it's not the best one, but I still
most
say
influential.
true. But can you
what a lot of
argue
people
that
played.
San Andreas is what led us to Grand Theft Auto 5? I would say that.
I think.
We're back in Los Santos, where San Andreas is.
I
at.
think. Okay, if we were gonna talk about the name of Grand Theft Auto 3, of course. But if I had to pick up the two, and mind you, I played them both to completion, and I enjoyed the hell out of them to completion, and I believe that yes, just like you were saying, Shadow, the San Andreas had many systems in place, probably too many.
Perhaps, as the rest of them will have
Vice
after that.
City was the one with the better story, with the interesting characters that now get to the point that they're still 50 years later they're getting sued.
That's like very minimal.
The best licensed soundtrack, bar none.
Oh yeah, I was
It
gonna
was
say
Vice
their
City.
music was actually awesome.
Yes. Vice City is it. I mean, no. I honestly, I think I would tilt it towards Vice City, but I
Even
respect
though-
San Andreas.
Even though,
was off
like
the
with
hook.
San Andreas, everyone's the most iconic thing from San Andreas, besides the whole stat system, was Big Smoke.
Another one that I want
character in
to.
the
Vice City's in the 80s. Do I need to say more?
So
I
another
know.
one I want to bring up in this generation that you guys I have not played, but I know you have, and it came out in this time. World of Warcraft.
Yes, World
That
of
was
Warcraft.
that was the it's
on
time for it.
PC. That wow. What's the time frame again? 2000.
1998,
Yeah, let's be real.
2005.
Let's be real. Yeah, that was the game that defined it. Yeah,
Yeah, I was
come
gonna
on.
say-
Let's
I
not
was
be-
wondering if you
let's
were
not
gonna
be
say it,
stupid. Yeah,
yeah.
I was
I mean-
because I was thinking StarCraft. No.
Also, the fact that World of Warcraft is still going on today, that's
Yes.
saying something.
That does
Yeah.
say something. Another one would be Knights of the Old Republic.
Yes.
Morality choices introduced here, which I guess would move on to the rest of the other games they would make.
Yeah, BioWare.
Shadow of the Colossus came out. I'm just gonna throw it out there. I liked it. It was great.
Yeah.
It was beautiful art. You know,
Not
Kingdom
influential, but
Hearts
sure.
came out too.
Kingdom Hearts.
games as art, sir.
Okay, sure. Okay. All right. I'll give you that. I'll give you
Guys,
that.
you're missing the biggest thing, Halo.
Thank you.
Oh,
Oh, my
Halo.
God. Do I have to
I mean,
depend on
hello,
her?
the Xbox.
I was
One,
about
Halo.
to throw you this. I was waiting for you to. Dude, how can you
Hold on.
not say Halo?
I have it here on the list. I just was avoiding it.
He's like, I don't want to see that garbage
Dude,
hit out of my face.
It's
No, definitely.
this generation
There's
is Halo.
There's no question. There's no question.
I think.
Would you say though? Would you say? And I know I've been saying this a lot. Wouldn't you say that it was Halo 2 with the Xbox Live.
Yes,
That,
I know.
okay,
Yes.
I think that was a little bit more.
I will.
defining.
You know what? I have been. Our thoughts have been conflicting too much in this list. I'm gonna meet you there. Yes. Okay. I'm gonna say Halo 2.
You don't have to meet me there. It really was everything. Let's be real. We didn't have that. I didn't have an Xbox.
Don't make me play my. Hey, if it wasn't for Halo, there wouldn't be Halo 2 card.
True, but it was
But
Halo
I know what you
2.
mean. Yeah,
that
Halo
had,
2
you
was
know,
the one that heralded like multiplayer,
and I think
all
that
See,
is
this one-
really
Yes,
important.
I agree.
This generation's a bit conflicted because they had so many good games on
Yes.
there.
This
So
generation,
it's a bit hard.
it is. Yeah, it is very
Yeah,
difficult.
yeah,
Like you
it's
mentioned,
extremely
I
difficult. Yeah.
remember playing.
this is the generation that gave us the. Wait, no,
No, it's not. It's like,
Yeah, we're gonna.
So-
I'm getting ahead of my head.
Another-
But it gave us something.
Another first person experience.
Resident Evil, freaking Resident
No,
Evil.
that was a
And,
generation before.
it-
God bless
it
America.
gave us
I'm lost.
And I said
Twilight
Resident Evil.
Princess.
What?
No, that was a
No, but it
that
was on the GameCube.
Are we in the GameCube?
Yeah.
On
We are in the
GameCube.
Yeah,
that
you're
was a
right.
GameCube.
Twilight
That was a
Princess.
that
Although I don't
was a
think
Resident
Twilight
Evil on
Princess-
GameCube.
I would
but-
say
Yeah.
Wind Waker would probably be better than
course.
Twilight Princess.
Oh,
Yeah.
So
But there's so
another
many
one that
good
I want to
games
bring
on
up:
those systems,
Half-Life
honestly.
2, first person
PC. Oh,
serious
shit. Wait,
stuff.
Did I mention something on PC already?
Did you mention World of Warcraft? We said
It's. I still
I know.
gotta give it to
You gotta go
World of
Warcraft, but I want to just
Came out
shine
in the
a light
same year,
on them.
2004.
I want to shine a light on,
Yes.
on that.
Oh shit. Yeah, that's right.
So
Damn it. That's
World of
that was
Warcraft
difficult.
wins it, even
I
though
think
World
so.
of Warcraft.
I think
wants
World
it.
of
Yeah,
Warcraft
I
takes
think
it,
so
yeah.
too. Yeah.
Sixth generation goes to World of Warcraft, guys.
Yeah, because it's hard since there's so many good games that we all remember playing, but we have to give it to a game that's
Yeah.
been running for years.
All right, we're running low on time.
And,
So,
and arcades?
seventh generation.
Wow, we're not gonna talk about arcade.
Talk to me.
By then, the arcade scene was dead.
Yeah, I was gonna say the arcades were home. Seventh generation
Ah.
consoles coming out or released 2005 through 2012.
Dude, I already know the answer on that one.
man.
It lives and dies with.
Go ahead, say it.
You want me to say it?
Go ahead.
Dude, it's Wii Sports.
Oh boy.
No, can
It
I
is
say-
Wii. No. Let's be
You know-
realistic. I don't like the answer
You're
either.
talking about motion gaming.
No. I'm talking about the game that defined the generation, the seventh generation. You have to accept it. I don't like it either.
I think,
but
I think
it was.
I think that
It
was. I
Wii
think motion
Sports.
gaming was what defined it,
No.
not particularly
No,
the
no.
game.
It was, dude.
Because Wii Sports has 5 things. What did
Exactly.
everybody play?
Dude, Wii
Bowling.
Sports.
Thank you.
Wii
Bowling
Sports.
and tennis.
That's a fifth of the game.
Wii Sports sold the Wii. Nothing else. The Wii sold like gangbusters. It was the best selling console of that
I
generation.
think also.
Why? Because of Wii Sports.
I think
Nothing
it's also
else.
because of backwards compatibility, where you can play GameCube games on your Wii.
No. It was
I don't
the
think
Wii.
that- I don't think that
it
would have
was
sold the
Wii
console.
But
Sports.
people liked it.
People
You're
did. No,
also
people did like it,
missing
yeah.
with Heavy Rain when they first did the high definition.
Oh, by the way,
quality.
the consoles for this generation: Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, Wii, obviously.
Yeah.
But that's
Throwing
why,
it out there.
that's why
The trifecta.
I just assume you guys knew.
yeah, that's
The
why
Holy
I was
Trinity.
saying Heavy Rain.
I have to. There's a few here that we have to really shine a light on.
Go ahead.
Minecraft. I know I don't play
Sure.
Minecraft,
On PC.
and that's fine.
PC.
But it
And
was
it came
available.
to-
I
Other
will put that on
consoles as
PC.
well.
On the PC.
That-
I will put
no
that
matter where you
current
put
web
it, the
PC.
game itself is what I
Yeah,
think
of course.
would definitely a defining game.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna throw out there Fallout 3. I think that I'm gonna throw it out there. Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare.
Call of Duty 4
Okay.
Modern Warfare.
First person
yes.
shooters
Is this
definitely.
I will
also-
give it to that rather than Fallout.
I will still throw Fallout there
Is this
because
also
that
around
actually
the-
helped Western
Yeah, it's around
RPGs
360.
make their mark.
No,
I would
that
say-
was actually Oblivion did that a
okay,
while back.
perhaps.
Yeah.
But I think Fallout 3 was more popular.
No, but actually, I would double check. Those
I'm
numbers
just-
in 360.
I'm not looking at sales numbers.
No.
I'm just
Okay,
saying.
instead of arguing,
No one's
No,
arguing.
not arguing.
arguing.
This is
It's
a debate.
friendly conversation.
Yeah,
The
try to
Last
see
of
who's
Us.
better.
The Last of Us.
Last of
Gears
Us.
of
yeah.
War.
Gears of
of
War.
War.
That's right. Gears
Yeah.
of War. GTA 5.
GTA 5.
No,
yeah.
no.
Yeah,
GTA 5.
That's a
On
that's
the-
a
oh,
came out
yeah,
yesterday.
later, but
Yeah,
later,
absolutely.
like later, much later.
Portal 2. Let's talk
Portal.
about really good script,
Portal and Portal 2,
a
yeah.
really good character.
Yeah, but now we're mentioning a lot of games that we just happen to remember because they're
No.
they're done.
I'm talking about games that, dude. You said yourself there hasn't been a game that had that level of a script.
Oh,
or
the script. Oh, yeah, no,
Yeah,
doubt.
this is what I'm talking about.
We're raising, but
And this is just
genre-
shining a light. This is just shining.
generational defining.
I'm not saying that is. I'm
it'll
just
be-
saying
I will
wanna
put Bioshock. We have to put Bioshock.
I
then.
just want to give the game its props.
Okay.
That's all I'm trying to do.
Honorable mention.
Skyrim, another
Skyrim,
one. Okay.
yeah.
Oh,
So-
that also coins alongside Oblivion too.
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
Oblivion,
definitely,
yeah.
So those are the ones that really come to mind. Dark Souls, by the
Yeah.
way, another one.
Yeah,
Another genre.
Oh, how easy it is
Yeah,
for
yeah.
us to talk about the games of this generation now. How have we forgotten the previous generations? The elders.
So which one was it, guys?
Well, come on. Seriously.
Talk to me.
I still stand by it. It's Wii Sport. It's
Wii
always,
Sports.
Wii Sports is the
Wii
one
Sports is the one that defined seventh generation.
because it's the one that pushed that many consoles. It's the one that fooled everybody into buying a console.
I would honestly say that's
why the 360
really
brought in the
superficial.
Kinect.
No. But in all seriousness, it was just a fun thing to. I mean, our company, the place we worked, they made it a point to buy
to
a
include a
Wii,
Wii. Mhm.
to include a Wii. When I was,
grandparents were
My-
playing it. My grandfather played it.
yes,
Yeah, yeah.
exactly. He had,
You know, you guys forgot Rock Band, Guitar Hero.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
yeah, yeah,
musical
yeah.
genres as well.
Yeah.
They
I mean, if
they
we're
phase
talking
in and
about
out,
genre
yeah.
defining, yes, but if we're talking about generation defining, there's going to be
Definitely
a lot of things that we're going to have to cut out.
Yeah,
Unfortunately,
definitely,
and I hate. I
all
love
hate to do
Bioshock
that.
there, but we can't. I gotta say is with sports. Yes.
I'd give it to I don't know.
Uh,
I guess I'll give it to BioShock. No. I don't think.
seriously, you can't get.
I can't give it to Wii Sports. Hell no.
Really?
No. I can
No.
understand. I think, like I said, I think that's more motion gaming. I think that you said it yourself. Everybody was fooled. Well, that's not a defining thing to me.
Yes, it is. I'm not saying it's a positive thing. Define is just its definition. It defined that generation.
definitely-
Everybody had a Wii.
It definitely fooled into Nintendo to think that they had something good.
Yeah, exactly.
sure.
Exactly. I think, and we're talking about a generation that gave us Call of Duty 4. If it wasn't for Wii Sports, I will give it to Call of Duty 4 before I will
That's
consider
actually the one I was thinking about.
anything
Too.
else.
I was thinking about Modern Warfare.
Anything else there. No, seriously.
I was actually
Wait,
put
you
it to
know
Modern
what's,
Warfare.
What's funny? I don't know if you heard me, but I said Heavy Rain because they brought in the very like high textures that we never seen before.
I see the decision making, the storytelling,
Yeah,
definitely. So yeah, that's seventh generation. I still think it goes
I
to
think
COD.
it's all right. I think it's all right. Well, let's tie them off. Come on.
Dude, COD is
Let's tie
serious.
this off.
If you want to tie it up, yes, 100 million, 101 million consoles that sold a freaking thing because of Wii Sports.
That we cannot take that lightly.
I would say look at
wanna
the sales
take
of
that
Call of
lightly.
Duty Modern
Yeah,
Warfare.
but sure.
Yeah.
On how many consoles?
I
We're
know.
talking about the one game that pushed more console. Well, a single one,
This
so in other words,
generation-
you had to spend the $300 they used to cost, or whatever it was it used to cost. And thank goodness they had the game bundle in it.
This generation also made, or I would like to say, made or is introduced esports a little bit more mainstream. It was already around at that point, but definitely a little bit more mainstream. And
StarCraft.
That's another
with
one.
StarCraft.
So yeah, that's my vote goes to Modern Warfare. He says
You'll be wrong. I don't like it either. I have
Let's
to
say-
say.
That's a very hard
hard decision.
thing. Yeah.
All right. Well, we're running extremely low on time because we're at 2 hours and 4 minutes.
Oh, that's good. I just said this was meaty.
I told you it was going to be meaty. We are in the final generation. Now, obviously, the generation isn't over, but
Now
we're in the eighth generation.
We are living.
So this
the
is where I'm
generation.
going to pose a question to you guys and say,
You know what?
what is going to define this generation?
I don't think we can answer that question yet. Then.
I know this is the. What do you think it's going to?
Why do you think?
I say Horizon.
No.
Honestly.
The game
For
that will
me.
define.
See, because
Okay.
here's the thing.
Get out. It's for me.
Okay, so
Okay,
Horizon
all right.
for
So
her,
Horizon for her. I'm not gonna give a vote when we're still smack down in the middle of the generation.
No,
I'm
it's
not ready
not-
to say that.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
we're not giving a vote. We're just thinking, what do you think is going to come
For
out of this
now,
generation
until
that will?
something.
You just have nothing.
I might as well be it's too open ended. It could be anything. I mean, Anthem is coming. I'm not ready to go. When I saw the Division, Division looked like the game that was gonna be the best game
It
of all
looked
time.
like it, that's for
But
sure.
It wasn't.
It wasn't. You know, when I saw Destiny, I thought it was gonna be. So see, it's
I was
difficult.
gonna
We can't-
honestly, I was gonna say, I think if depending on how Destiny 2 runs out, I think Destiny may be a big game. The problem is that it also came out in last generation.
Yeah.
So it's difficult to point it to this one here.
No,
But,
I would point it to this one because
You think?
remember what they were doing that was just backporting it just to say, hey, it's there. But in reality,
So,
that's a game of this generation.
that's a game that people are way into. It's one of those. What is that still falls into the games as a service, right?
Yeah. Well,
so-
World of Warcraft is that too.
Yeah, yeah. What I'm saying, that's true too.
It
So-
has a lot of different genres put into it. If you don't notice,
Perhaps,
honestly,
yeah.
it has some. Well, I know people will probably argue, but it does have some MMO aspects to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
You know,
definitely. There's no arguing that. Yeah.
The raids, the loot system, your
But
own
I'm not-
character.
Yeah, and as much as it gets played, and as much as our group pretty much grew in
because
that
of that,
game, because of that game, I'm not ready to give it up to give it to it because the future is so like it looks like amazing things are gonna be coming out, and
I
we
hope.
can't wait.
Yeah.
And we might get the Destiny killer. You know, right now people are voting to Anthem, but you know, for all intents and purposes,
We don't really
Anthem
know
looked
how
as
Anthem's
good as
gonna do.
Destiny looked when we first, saw it, and then we got very
And then we got
disappointed.
Destiny.
Yeah, and then we got Destiny. Exactly.
So-
And
Well, I
the
guess we're
Division,
gonna
the same
have to
thing.
wait in a few years or
Yeah.
more.
When it's over, we'll have to revisit the topic.
Hey, you know what? You want to give it something? Give it to Overwatch. I will give it to Overwatch before I give it to Destiny. How about that?
I would say
No,
that would be okay
no,
too.
he's actually
Yeah.
right because it's a first-person shooter, completely different.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Character-driven
it's
first-person shooter.
It's been selling over, I believe, like 40 million or
Yeah.
billion.
When you
around
add
there.
everything up, we have a member question from the group, and I wanted to bring it up before we forget. This week, it
I
is
completely
Giovanni.
Forget about Overwatch, honestly.
Giovanni points it out. He wants to ask a question rather than leave a comment. Which game would you say defined your generation? That's being the console you identify the most with for whatever reasons. Usually not limited to because of when you played it, why, etc. And why was this game, at least in your eyes, so defining?
That's very good. I like it. Should I start?
By all means.
All right. The game that defined my generation to this day is Phantasy Star on the Sega Master System. Phantasy Star on the Sega Master System was my experience into, you know, the first what Final Fantasy VII was to you, for example. That was Phantasy Star for me, like generations back. A game where I could travel to 3 different planets, all with their own towns and places to go, which to this day I haven't seen another game, you know, do it to that scope. It had a beautiful story. It had a female character, was the lead, and it had a very profound, ending. And the whole journey was fantastic. You go to this desert planet, then you go to this ice planet, and you start in the tropical planet. The first time you see this game, I saw this game, I cannot believe it was an 8-bit game because the graphics, whenever you go into fighting, it'll go into this first-person view, first of all, and the enemies were like, they were not these tiny things on the screen that, you can imagine that's a monster. No, they were like drawn big-ass monsters on the screen that you will, make your selection in the menu if you wanted to attack it. Typical JRPG, type of fighting, turn-based. Also, first time you, on an 8-bit console, you have real or semi-real 3D dungeons. you were walking on those dungeons. They were coming. You could see the map. It was very. The scrolling was fantastic. Because another game that had something like that was Fester's Quest.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever you went into a house or something like that,
mansion or something.
Yeah, in a mansion. Actually, Golgo 13 also had it. But every time you move forward, it almost looks like it's taking a picture. Like it just puts you there. It teleports you there. No, in Phantasy Star, you were scrolling through the mazes and stuff like that. The game was a fantastic RPG. I've always wanted to capture that level of that feeling that I had when I played that. I think the closest one, even though I keep saying that Final Fantasy VI was better, but Final Fantasy VII was the one that gave me that closest feeling, and nothing else after. So yeah, that'll be Final Fantasy Star for me.
How about you, Shadow? Game defining, or game that defined your...
That's a bit hard.
It's a loaded question.
Yeah, I mean, considering
Overwatch. Just kidding.
Considering what I grew up with, that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot. And I while listening to him, I was trying to think, and it's hard.
It's hard.
It's really hard.
I have to go back to... I'm always torn between these, but I'll go back to Final Fantasy VII and say that was pretty much it. I've said this before, I won't stay very long on it, but I bought that game 3 times.
3 times?
3 times.
Wow.
Last time I bought it, it was basically on, like I said, it was a used game copy. It had the full case, the same old case that it had. It was a very pristine copy. Bought it for $7.
Wow.
$7. And at each time, I played it from beginning to the end. And it was a lot of that stuff was from having to do it so often. I was able to just kind of I know how to get the Knights of the Round. I know exactly what I need. That, and then of course the big moment. That game it kept coming back every time I'd see it. I'm like, you know what? I'll just throw it again. The soundtrack was great. Anyway, that's probably the one that defined it for me there. So. All right, guys, so that brings us to the end of the real episode 67.
Man, you better believe this was real.
The big Mama Gemma.
We're at 2 hours.
I thank you so much for sticking with us, listening to us here. Go through the generations of what we fucking love, basically.
In other words,
what are your choices? It'd be interesting to know.
In other words, they heard us reminisce our memories.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Our good memories.
We're old. I remember the Atari 1200. You guys didn't even know that it existed. It was a prototype.
All right, guys. So, again, go to goodgame.tech and join the conversation there. And, again, if you're listening to this on YouTube or any of the podcast services, please like, subscribe, share with your friends. This is Arnaldo, a.k.a. Mad Dog, signing off for this week. Mr. David Santos.
Thank you to all the members of the group. Thank you to the awesome, amazing, fantastic guys from Nivel Escondido.
Absolutely.
Which is nothing but love. You guys should be downloading that podcast and listening to it. Even if you don't know Spanish, you get the gist of it. Those guys are doing God's work over there, definitely. As I always say. And also, thank you to Gilberto for his awesome contribution.
Always, thank you.
And thanks to you guys. I mean, you notice our group is not huge because we're selective. We just have the best of the best here, right?
Yep.
So
it's just a big group to chill and then talk about what
what we love.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Awesome. And Miss Shadow 24/7, Krista,
take us home.
Seriously, take me home. I gotta go.
I mean, I don't really have anything to say.
All
Honestly.
right. Well, that was very, very, very
awesome.
I'm just ready to go home and start doing my Dungeons and Dragons because they're impatient.
Oh, they're impatient. They're paging her.
Very
She's got to get to the guild.
Yes.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week.
GG!